stayed a boy till he taught her how to shoot. Her daddy didn't play no games, wouldn't let her trade her name for a fake I do. Boy, you better know what you're getting into. This ain't no shotgun wedding that you're used to. The target is you. And you leave her standing all alone at the altar. Daddy's daughter got a smack and was a pistol that her daddy bought her hidden in a garter. And she ain't afraid to use it. It's up to you. Are you gonna be blood or just a little water? Cause she can't help but knowing what her daddy taught, and she's her daddy's daughter. Before you hear the church bells ring, oh, you better get down on your knees. Get to praying for forgiveness. God knows you're gonna need it. Oh, you better know what you're getting into. This ain't no shotgun wedding that you're used to. The target is you. And you leave her standing all alone at the altar. Daddy's daughter got a smack and words. A pistol that her daddy bought her hidden in a garter. And she ain't afraid to use it. It's up to you. Are you gonna be blood or just a little water? Cause she can't help but knowing what her daddy taught, and she's her daddy's daughter. She'll be after you like hands behind a limousine, in a dirty white dress with a fully loaded magazine. Oh yeah, she'll be after you like hands behind a limousine, in that dirty white dress with a fully loaded magazine. If you leave her standing all alone at the altar, daddy's daughter's got a strength in her ways, a pistol that her daddy bought her hidden in a garter. And she ain't afraid to use it. It's up to you. Are you gonna be blood or just blood in the water? Cause she can't help but knowing what her daddy taught, and she's her daddy's daughter. Daddy's daughter. Oh, and she's her daddy's daughter.
Just a couple of tunes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome along. Just another tune, and we're getting to it.
Son of a southern man, daughter of a freedman, children of the Civil War. Blackbird on a limb, both of them diving in deeper than they've been before. And you, oh, down a red dirt path, covering their tracks, strangers in the light of day. Can't fight it, can't stop, and if they get caught, it's gonna be hell to pay. So baby, meet me down by the rolling oak river, where the cool dark water meets the full moonlight. If we can sneak away, maybe we could be together. Candlelight, stop love tonight. Didn't know they'd been followed down through the hollow till a hand grabbed her by the arm. Blood's thicker than water, but even his father ain't never gonna do her no harm. And ooh, breath. They were scared to death, and he was meaner than the devil himself. It was him or them, and you can call it a sin, but the road no river won't tell. So baby, meet me down by the road, no river, where the cool dark water meets the full moonlight. If we can sneak away, maybe we could be together. Can't nobody stop love tonight. Can't nobody stop this love. 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 So baby, meet me down by the road, no river, where the cool dark water meets the full moonlight. If we can sneak away, maybe we could be together. Can't nobody stop love tonight. So baby, meet me down by the road, no river, where the cool dark water meets the full moonlight. If we can sneak away, maybe we could be together. Can't nobody stop love tonight.
Hello and welcome along. Hope everybody's doing fine. Just to follow on from last week about Bali, because it's kind of Australia's playground to a certain extent, has been for a lot of years. Which is on the eastern end of the archipelago of Indonesia. Right. 3 days ago, this news. 302 foreigners have been denied entry into Bali so far this year. So a little bit of, what you need to know. It's been over the news with some of the stuff they've run up the flagpole. But the thing is, the 302 that have been denied entry, basically, they're not, from one given country. Admittedly, the top 10 countries that they came from was Australia, India, Nepal, Russia, Sri Lanka, England, Fiji, France, and Venezuela. So there's no real race description there or segregation or whatever. But there was a lot of stupid things as far as their refusal of entry. Most of them did not have valid travel documents. Some had fake immigration documents and visas. Some didn't have the correct visa, and some were who were exempt from the visa laws, who weren't of the right caliber. And if you're over 18, your insurance documents, your customs declaration, your return flights, onward flights, it still remains the case, and it's law in the Philippines. I was going to say something about the Philippines later on, in Bali. But, so it's the due diligence of just checking your requirements, taking that little bit of time. In any country you visit, respect the local laws and the local people. It's not real hard, but some people just don't get it. They think that because they're a foreigner and not in their own country, they aren't subjected, or they shouldn't subject themselves to the laws of the countries and get drunk and become abusive and aggressive and things like that. Bali, by nature, is a very placid place, very similar to Thailand, unless you step out of line. And what's been happening is a lot of people have just treated it like shit, really. So they've got very pissed off about it, and you wouldn't blame them. There's nothing worse. We've all travelled and seen tourists or whatever acting badly, and it's not a good look, and something we don't need. Next thing I was going to talk about was police. And it seems the police in this country have forgotten how to be police. Now, I think this one is the worst of the lot. I'm going to share this screen. This is pretty terrible. No, I didn't do it. Huh. All right. We'll play this one.
Mother was tasered in her New South Wales nursing home. She's currently receiving end-of-life care in hospital as pressure builds on police to figure out how this all unfolded. Let's bring in former New South Wales Detective Peter Moroney now. Thanks so much for your time, Peter. Now, as a former detective, help us understand, if you will, why a taser would have been used in this instance. It seems like an extreme measure.
Yeah, look, if we go back to practical training, so the police have what they call 9 tactical options that they can use. First and foremost, they need to use a taser on one of 4 different conditions. Most relevant to this current case is if they're being of fear of being overpowered and receiving actual bodily harm, if they're involved in a violent struggle, or to protect life.
Now, we'll just pull that one up there. If they're in danger of being overpowered, a 95-year-old woman, she had a steak knife. She was on a walking frame. And she had Alzheimer's. You can't tell me a policeman or whatever would have any problem overpowering her. To use the taser, I hope this police officer gets charged with murder when she finally passes.
Of that tactical options model, it's a step through, Sarah. So you'll adjust your response depending on what is coming at you. For example, that'll range from simply being there, communication, stepping up through, for example, to handcuffs, pepper spray. At the very end of the spectrum is the taser, and then moving on to the firearm.
I mean, you mentioned there that one of the reasons you might deploy a taser is because you're feeling under threat or feel like as though you might be overpowered. That would seem extremely unlikely in a situation where a 95-year-old is also clinging onto a walking frame. Yeah, look, and this is the whole point in terms of a policing model, right? Their decisions to use their weaponry is subjective to what they perceive as the threat. What's going to come out and no doubt be the centre of this is, was that justified? As you rightly say, and on the facts as it's come out at the moment, she was on a walking frame. The police have unfortunately stated that she was coming at them slowly, which one would then assume there is some time to react. But again, all of that will be absolutely looked at in detail. And of course, lots of questions have been raised about why she managed to get her hands on a knife to begin with, right? I mean, especially in a nursing home setting, it does seem very unusual. And you would think that one way of perhaps trying to understand that better would be for the New South Wales Police Commissioner to actually watch the body cam footage. She says that she doesn't want to. why not? It seems like a puzzling decision. Why wouldn't you watch it? You're the police commissioner.
Yeah, look, obviously a decision for her. It's probably fairly confronting from what I understand about it as the head of the organisation, to view that and to look predominantly at some lessons learned and to put that back down into the organisation. But equally, you have a large number of people within that education and training command that could do that and plug that back into some police training.
I guess it's understandable then if it is confronting footage not to release it to the public. Do you think though that there is a need for us to see what happens?
Look, it's a very good question. You know, it's whether it's out there and whether people want to watch it would be one of two things.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, to see this big, brave policeman, how threatened he was. Maybe he needs to go and get another job. Hey? Maybe he needs to just go and get another job. But then again, it's not only in New South Wales. Yeah, oh well. The finest shot a man in Brisbane. Now, what's coming out of that is apparently that chap was in hospital with some real problems. It was a bit more serious. Once again, he had a knife. The police were called. He'd actually stabbed somebody with, in the hand or whatever. But it brings you to two things. If he needed mental care, why wasn't he there? Why was he just, take some pills and piss off out of the hospital? The police go in there, evaluate the situation. He's got the knife. And what? And mind you, there was more than one policeman. Anyhow, one decides to squeeze off a few shots. What's it coming to? What's it really coming to in this country? It's not real, not a lot of brain power happening. And as we know, over the last 3 years, we've been our own police by political involvement. They've been elevated, which they think they have, but they are not. They are not the supreme law. They are law enforcement officers. And I think their recruiting needs to go back to a better caliber of person than they've got. Now, getting on to something a little bit more interesting as well. It was actually good to see that the draft agreement from the Move Forward Party and its 7 coalition allies does not include changing the Les Majeste law. The Les Majeste law is slandering. Robert, how you doing, mate? Good morning. The Les Majeste law doesn't condone any talking bad of the royal family or slander or anything like that, which is fair enough. So that's going to stay, which is fine. That's not a big, but it does cover rewriting the Constitution, ending the monopoly on alcohol beverages, and relisting cannabis as narcotics, and a few other bits and pieces. So that draft that'll be very interesting. That'll be very interesting. So maybe, just maybe, while everybody's jumping on the high horse of oh yeah, I can go and buy a joint now, it's all legal. Well, maybe that just might change again. It's a little bit hard when the floodgates have been open, but it's up to them. Robert, King Charles, we can. That was Thailand, Robert. But we can say fuck King Charles, but we haven't got a King Charles. We've got a Queen Charles and a King Camilla. Yeah, just around the traps. Phuket, for instance. An Australian man was found hanging in his cell at Patong Police Station on Monday morning after being arrested on Sunday night for being drunk disorderly outside a bar. Yeah. And that's kind of, I don't know why people travel. In realism, I don't know why they travel to places when in realism they've got a bad attitude or whatever. G'day, Steve. Welcome. And a lack of funds. There used to be the Phuket Flying Club and all of those kind of things, and it still exists. People get themselves into a situation, and skydiving without a parachute and all those kind of things to them is the best option. But they all make their own decisions, don't they? Oh, that's right. I haven't put this bloody link up, have I? I should do that. And as we know, an Australian man passed away at 8,500 feet, climbing in the Himalayas. He was climbing for a reason, which good on him. 8,500. He was just about there, but he had recovered from an accident prior. Learn how to walk again and all those kind of things, and wanted to do something, for raising a couple of dollars for charities he believed in. Maybe he should have stuck to bike riding or something like that, because he obviously wasn't really up to the challenge. But condolence to him and the family, his family. But yep, what he started off to do cost him his life. So you've always got to look at the options. That's my opinion. So anybody like to join the panel, they're quite welcome. Talk about anything you like. That's my idea of the Mondays, just a couple of subjects or whatever, and then open it up and anybody can talk about what they like. Oh, well, I suppose one other subject while I was kind of on it. I got sent a thingo. Livable cities. Top five most livable cities in the world. Number 1 is Melbourne. That's Victoria. Vienna, Vancouver, Toronto. Now that's a bit surprising. And Adelaide. But it was the city of Logan in Queensland, which is a 30-minute drive from the state's capital, that took the top shit town of the year. 7 of the most disadvantages in the country are on a Queensland census. Every second person you see in Cairns and far north Queensland is a tourist or a backpacker. There's a very monocultural racism in Queensland. Yeah, as far as beach lovers, they got some wonderful beaches, but the only thing between November and May, there's a lot of stingers, and the rest of the year you're taking your chances with crocodiles. Unlike down here, the only thing you take your chances with is frostbite. Welcome, Robert. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing, Johnny?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, a lot of rain. Some of the things so bad that they're worth remembering for prosperity is Queensland crime-infested police force, which is under corruption. Kingpin Lawrence Lewis has left a big legacy. But yeah, that's just
shocking.
Yeah. That's why I call Australia home. I might live in a colder state, but the thing is, we get dictated to a bit like all the others do. There's no changes in there, but our coppers, you can still tell them to piss off half the time. But yeah, we don't have a lot of the problems they do in the other states. I'm quite proud to be a Victorian in realism. I'd love the weather to be warmer. I'm still waiting for the global warming they've been promising for the last 10 years, but anyhow.
Well, don't wait. Don't worry. They'll charge you for it. You just keep waiting for it. It'll come.
Oh, they put electricity up, so when I create my own global warming, I've got to pay more for it.
Morning, Mr. Perrin.
Morning, Mr. Robert. How the devil are you? You haven't spoken for ages. I've missed you so much.
Oh, I've been busy, boy.
How are your eyes?
Still shit, but better than they were.
Oh, excellent.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
So you're still working for the factory?
Yeah, off and on. I actually got about 18 of them sitting back behind me here that I've got to get ready to go put out here at my place even.
Oh, so were they in the sick bay, were they?
No. These aren't the sick bay. These are prime grade A.
Well, that's good. That's good. But yeah, like I say, that thing from Thailand with the new government rewriting the constitution and
that was Thailand you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, because they allowed cannabis, in private, not. I think it's escaped a little bit. They let the bird out of the cage and it's just all over the place.
Yeah, you ain't gonna put the genie back in the bottle.
Well, the next government's going to try and shorten it up a little bit and get a little bit of control, But when they said, "Oh, we'll legalize it," for your own use type of thing.
Yeah.
And you can grow it for pharmaceutical benefits and whatever. Next thing, all of a sudden the covers come off and there was a shitload of it. G'day, Nathan.
Morning, Nathan. It's freezing here. Getting down to Tennessee. Oh, Jesus, you got to be kidding me, Nathan.
Well, actually, for Nathan, that'd be bloody cold because it gets friggin' hot up there. But we've had a few icy mornings here. Going back a few weeks ago, there was a bit of snow. Just out the road a bit. You can see a bit on the mountain. which is never a good sign. I always hate it when they have a good snow season because it's so bloody cold in the valley. Because, like they say, cold air sinks.
Yes, it does.
It's actually colder in the valley than it is on the mountain.
Yeah.
But
Well, just to give you by comparison, Nathan, I think it's still getting down to about, well, the other night it was like 1 degree Celsius here. And I think this morning was like 4, 5, somewhere in there. And that's a heat. I walked out, damn shorts, took the dogs out, even pissed in the yard myself. I thought it was great.
well, you'd be sick of shoveling snow.
Oh fuck, dude! Been a hell of a year. Been a cold spring.
Some of those photos, 5 foot of bloody snow. Back of that. And how's the family?
Doing good. The wife isn't impressed with her work yet, but ain't much we can do about it at the moment.
Well, that's been an ongoing thing, but you get that.
Yeah, well, the let's just say the politics, both federal, state, and local, have gotten just a little out of hand. So they're in for serious need of a check.
Readjustment, yes.
Yeah, kind of like the loudmouth in the bar, just needs a good slap in the mouth.
Yep.
That's a good way of putting it. Get it? No, it's an excellent analogy. But will they get it, Robert? I don't know. I think that.
The
Democrats seem to have so much bloody power, so much media going with them. I hope you're right. I really do. But I don't. We've even got. The thing that pissed me off. Sorry, but I think Schiff is now going for the Dianne Feinstein's, when she dies, because she's very close to it. He's going to be the next Supreme Court judge. Schiff. The worst. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Schiff is going to end up in jail here pretty soon.
Well, so you reckon?
They're planning. Pelosi's daughter at the moment is taking care of Feinstein.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
All on the basis of they're trying to get Schiff in as the next Supreme Court judge.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. Anyway, look, boring politics, but I can't believe it, Robert, and I just think it's a hard battle for your side to win. Really hope you win it, but they're much sneakier than your gang and my gang. I'm on your side, obviously. They're just so much sneakier and so much cleverer at doing it. And they've been working at this for the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah. It's not that they have any more power or anything like that. The problem with the Republicans is they won't stoop to the same lows that the Democrats do. And in my opinion, we need to just take the gloves off. Like I said, there's a few people just need a good smack in the mouth. And beyond that, there's a lot of them, in my opinion, that need the rope. Quite literally. Now, whether that happens or not, it's yet to be seen, but it'd only take one. I guarantee you shit would change 180 degrees right quick.
Well, I was just, while you were saying that, Robert, I was just trying to recall in my head the map of the US and the red-blue type stuff. And I think I saw some blue down in the south.
Yeah.
Now, the Klansmen wouldn't like that very much.
Well, if you can find me an actual Klansman, I will kiss. I will literally kiss your ass, there, Johnny.
And also, Johnny, the Klan were Democrats.
Yes, that is true, Mr. Perrin. That is true. There's a lot of things that historically there's some misconceptions about. There's an Aussie farming in the Philippines. Well, how you doing, Aussie farming in the Philippines?
An Aussie farming in the Philippines, if it's the right one, it'd be William, and welcome, William. And my old mate Jeff is actually spending a bit of time at the moment with William in the Philippines. So yeah. So anyhow, welcome, Will.
Yeah, I got something for you.
What do you got for
me? Give me 1 second.
What you got?
There you go.
Add to the stream.
That's the new beauty in America. She is claim to fame is that's supposed to be epitome of a woman now.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know. The whole part about it is. They're doing it here too. Overweight, unhealthy women.
That's
doing all the ads.
Johnny,
and
that's a stick shift.
Pardon?
That's a stick shift, not an automatic. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I think to move that you need a front end loader. But the thing is, they're doing it here. You've got everything's got to be politically correct. So they've got all these ads, and they've got black people. Well, that's fine, but they haven't got Indigenous people. It's people that are, let's face it, imported.
I was going to say immigrants. Yeah, well, they could be Australian. They could have gone through the process and whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But the whole part about it is, if they're a citizen, what's the problem? They're black, white, brindle, Asian. Who gives a shit? If they've done their due diligence. Well, frankly, Johnny, the only people that give a shit are the ones that seem to have a problem with everything in life. The rest of us, I don't really give a damn what color somebody is.
No, that's right. It doesn't matter. Well, I don't know. I won't. I'll say race and color doesn't bother me. Creed does.
Well, that's a different thing.
Yeah. The thing is, a person's actions is what makes them the person that you will either make your friend or you'll hate them or whatever. It's how they come across to you. There's a lot of plastic people around.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's, you know, it's not like when I was younger, you were measured, your worth was measured on the person you were. It wasn't money or anything like that. It was your standards and all of that. You know, and if you helped other people and just the neighborly thing, or you know, all that kind of stuff. That's how I grew up with. People helped each other. If, you know, somebody was a bit down on luck, you helped them out a bit. It wasn't charity. It was helping you're giving a person a hand up, not a hand out. But nowadays, everybody's running around with their hand out saying, fill them up.
Yeah, no doubt. But in the same token, even the ones that aren't um, are pretty much in the same boat because they've absolutely destroyed the fucking small business around here. And then they say, well, we have a lack of workers for jobs. Yeah, for McDonald's. You know, that's not, in my opinion, that's not a job. That's something I used to do if you was in high school or something. It's not supposed to be a fucking career.
That's right. Well, daughter went to an interview. Now she's studying, and she goes to Melbourne to study a couple of days a week, and you know, does a bit online and all that. And they were advertising for people at Hungry Jack's, which is basically Burger King.
Right.
And she went and saw this arrogant prick, and he kind of said, "Oh, well, here's a roster for you." And she said, "Well, I can't work that day and that day." And he said, "Well, you know, this is a career move here." And she kind of she said, "Well, what I'm doing is a career move, which is studying early childhood development and all that kind of shit. And that's a career move. Working for fuck me, one of them joints. That's not a career move. That's one step above being a paper boy or paper girl. You know, delivering newspapers for fuck's sake."
Well, and that's what. Go ahead.
Yeah, like it. She kind of, "Oh, here's your uniform and all this kind of stuff," and she kind of went outside and thought for a second, walked back into the office, placed the uniform on the desk, and said, "You stick it up your ass."
Yeah. You know, I'll never forget when I got out of the military. I went and interviewed at a local small shop. Well, near the town that I live near now, but I didn't live near it then. I lived, 50, 60 miles away. And interviewed, and they were all happier than shit, you know. They was like, yeah, you know, we'd love to hire you, and all this, blowing smoke up my ass and all this happy stuff. And I said, and they got done with the interview and everything like that, you know. They were pretty smart. We'll hire you. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
And I said, well, wait a minute here. I says, well, what's this pay? And like, well, it starts out at minimum wage and then tops out like at $10 an hour. And, you know, like, and then the lady says, should I continue this interview? I says, probably not.
So, Robert.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Klansman. You need to start kissing some ass now.
You're a Klansman? A real one? let me see your robes, guy. And then I want to see.
You know me, I wouldn't mess with that shit.
I want to see your suck pin too. So
I'm the Grand Poobah.
Well, when I was in the military, I met one of the few actual Klansmen left down in Georgia in Ludowici.
Right.
And that guy was for real. He was no joke. I was like, holy shit.
Well, Ruby Ridge, that guy that was the father there, I think the FBI thought he was messing with, well, he was talking to some Klansmen, but he wasn't a Klansman. And that's how all that crap started on Ruby Ridge.
That was started on a rumor.
Yep.
Progressed because of the very same damn thing that they do now. It was a setup.
Yep. Exactly.
Um,
Same thing with the Brent Davidian rumor.
yeah.
And David took it to the next level over a rumor.
Well, they wanted to make a spectacle because they could have very easily, if they wanted David Koresh so damn bad, they could have
waited for
very
him to cool
easily
down.
arrested him
Right.
when he went to the gas station or the store
Yep.
or something like
Yep.
that. They didn't need to do what they did.
You're right.
Well, if they
They
wanted
wanted
to make a spectacle, why didn't they go to an optometrist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But, you know, the
it
media
should have
get
been an
behind stuff
optometrist.
and-
He made a good spectacle.
It's the same thing, and I won't say it out loud, but the J6 thing, same damn thing.
Yep.
Well, Mac,
Yep.
Mac, we're going to have to look into it. Yeah.
Considering that they're the Congress now, the Judicial Committee, is now fighting with them because they won't turn over another 10,000 hours of videos. And they say, well, we can't turn them over because it shows our agents and assets. Oh, really? Huh. That's interesting.
Was the most interesting one. It says when that girl got shot, got a video of her sitting up laughing, saying, "Did I do okay job?"
Well, I haven't seen that, so I won't make no opinion on that.
I
one, but-
understand that. Yeah, I'm the same way. If I don't see it, and yep.
But that whole thing, in my opinion, that's another one of those things where some people need to hang.
So I noticed that this Bud Light campaign is more or less the United States people that made their decisions and not wanting to get this beer. I was wondering if we can kind of like angle that towards the Vanguard or BlackRock and go over there and protest and say, hey, they're behind this transgenderism. Why aren't we doing anything about it?
Because unfortunately, MacGyver, it takes the lowest common denominator when it comes to that shit. Hence why Bud Light got hit so hard. Now, let's see if Ford trucks get hit just as hard. Or there's another one that just pulled that too.
What happened with Ford?
What happened with Ford?
Yeah, they were trying commercial.
Their latest ads got the rainbow truck out there loud and proud.
Oh, somebody blew a tranny on a Ford?
Yeah, something like that. But I know that, yeah, just not cool.
Yeah.
Well, is that like the bloke from the IRA that burned his lips blowing up a car?
Yeah.
Well, it's these big corporations that are saying, hey, you're with us, you do what we say. If not, you're out of our game. So
Hey,
Dodge did their thing. Miller starting to do their stuff. Ford did their thing with the truck. What next?
well, that all boils down to that whole ESG thing, and most people don't have a clue what the hell that is.
Right.
Will, that's Robert. He's got a couple of doggies.
Yeah, I got Labradors, and Mama's home, so they're having a fit because she's a lunch lady.
Of course.
That's all right, Steve. You're all right, mate.
But yeah, we're probably on the process of well, my wife's dog Scooter passed away. Diesel, he's not doing so good because what's happening with him, he might be being put under. You heard I got 2 kittens, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, they're doing big. They're doing pretty good. They're yeah.
Well, sorry to hear about your dog, Mac.
Yeah. My daughter made well, shoot, she ordered this thing where she takes a picture of, Scooter and sends it to this company, and then they take this image and they stick it in the middle of a glass cube with the platform it sits on that light shines through it. It looks just like, they did a very good job on it though. So my wife could see Scooter in 3D. Yeah.
Ah.
Had the dog for 16 years. That dog, I swear to God, would never leave her side. Sleep with her. When she'd leave, he'd be all upset and always constantly looking out the window. And as soon as he sees a car go by, and he knew what color, if it was a white car, he'd start barking and having a fit. Mom's home, mom's home. Then he'd get Diesel involved, and he'd be barking. It's like, oh shit, you guys stop it. She's not home.
Yeah, that's the way mine are. The only difference is they sound like horses running around.
Well, he's got that high little pitched bark, and Diesel's got that big bark, you know. Yeah.
I remember one of my dogs. If I drove over the farm instead of going to the house first, went into like the second driveway, drove over to the farm, to check something or drop something off, and I didn't go home and pick up the dog. When I opened the door to get out of the car at the farm, he'd be there. He knew the sound of the car. The trouble is, they only last about, between 10 and 15 years, dogs.
Well, my last one passed away. He was 18.
Yeah, well, that's a bloody good innings.
Yeah, I never really thought about it. His last couple of years, he couldn't get around real good, but, I always live by the rule. As long as they can go outside and do their business, that's fine.
Yep.
He's one of a few dogs that actually died laying down beside me, and I didn't even know it.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
they died happy.
Oh yeah, he died right where he liked to be, is facing the fan, so he was good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the dog I used for an icon, a couple of years, 3 years now. We put him down because his hips went on him.
Yeah. Well,
And
I had
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say his hips, and then he lost. He lost control of his bladder and all that, and
Oh yeah.
and I kind of didn't want to do it, but yeah, it was the best thing for the dog.
Yep.
Put down.
I had my last. I wasn't going to get any dogs after my last female died, but that's when they were having all the problems with the dog foods. And I literally called the dog food company and asked them. I says, I'm not going to find out that you've been poisoning my dog, am I? Oh, no, sir. Our stuff's been all checked and good and great and all that stuff. And yeah, sure, she ended up dying of renal failure from the fucking dog food. And of course, you can't do a damn thing about it in this country.
Yeah, well, that's it. The legal liability is on you because you bought it.
Yeah.
Forget about the shit they wrote on the bag that said it was really, really good.
Yeah.
Actually, Will's comment there, he got 3 dogs, and his dog Sam. His dog Sam needs to go on a diet, mate.
Morning, Stephen.
Morning. Good evening, Robert. Good day, Matt and Johnny. How you going? Right. Yeah. Listen, Johnny, my dog was a blue heeler. That lived for 22 years.
That's good. 22 years? Damn. Because you fed it proper food all the time.
Guys, welcome.
Yeah, she was
22 years.
22, yeah.
Shit, I never got a dog that lasted bloody more than about 14 years. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was me.
The smaller the dog, the longer they last, apparently.
Well, now they're lasting about 10 years because of the dog food. People can't afford the good dog food.
It'll be McDonald's.
They feed it McDonald's dog food. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's food. It's crap. You don't have the protein in it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's probably good. But My dogs.
That's what I knew they're messing around with our food.
My dogs have always eaten what I eat. Because you cook up some tucker, and they'll get potatoes, peas, beans, bloody gravy, bit of meat, the whole deal of it, and everybody else's leftovers, and they're in hog heaven.
Yep.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hi.
Tucker.
Hello, Paula. I haven't talked to you for a
Paula,
while. How you doing?
I'd rather work.
She's burnt out.
Tired.
Yeah, that happens. Burnout, especially when you don't like working where you're working.
Well, they've been having her work 7 days a fucking week. So,
Well, that's against the labor laws.
yeah, not here. It's not.
Oh, so they still whip people at the post in your area.
Oh,
Well,
pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah. What's your name?
But she gets overtime. Like after 40 hours, she gets time and a half, right?
Yeah, that's fine, MacGyver. But there comes a point in time when it
But
doesn't
Sunday is
matter.
double time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the time is when it becomes enough's enough. I'm over it.
Another
Exactly.
career decision for Saturday and Sunday, hey? Mm.
That's why my work.
What do we get? Sorry, John, go on.
I was just going to say my wife, when she first started off doing what she's doing, she worked a shift of Monday through to Friday.
Some hot water.
And then she realised, hang on, I can get time and a half and double time if I work the weekend. So she changed the shift around. So she works, and most public holidays are either a Friday or a Monday. So she works, kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So any public holidays, any of that kind of stuff, it's all, a better pay rate. Which if you can do it and get away with it, that's pretty bloody smart.
Yeah, here it doesn't make any difference. It's anything over 40 is time and a half, and then Sundays are double time. But as I said, that's fine for once in a while, and it's supposed to be once in a while, but not these people. They seem to think it's a little different.
No, that's what I found out yesterday.
Mm. What do we get, John? What do we get? We get double time, triple time, whatever. Can't remember now.
It depends on the awards you're under, but normally a Saturday. A Saturday is time and a half.
Hang on, John. Before you continue, that's for a certain amount of hours, and it goes to double and it goes to triple. Is that correct? That's on the Saturday, yes.
Well, it depends on which awards you're under, but after a certain amount of hours, just like a Saturday, you start off. I think the first 2 hours are time and a half, and the rest of your shift is double time. So it's 6 and 2, and then on a Sunday it's all double. Public holiday, once again, it depends on the award. A public holiday, if you're working a public holiday, it started at double, and I think it was 4 and 4, went into triple.
Yeah.
But when I worked oil and gas, it 8 hours Saturday was time and a half, and 4 hours was double time. Sunday was 12 hours double. A public holiday was 12 hours at triple. A normal day was 8 hours at normal time, and then 2 hours at double. 4 hours at double. That was oil and gas. So, like I say, different industries, different stuff.
Yeah, I used to when I was working for GM. I hit the triple time once. Can't remember what for, what time it was. One of the machinery broke down, and they needed people to test call it the repairs production.
Yep.
Now I was sitting there, Jesus, mate, did I make a fortune? But the tax man got most of it. Come on.
Oh, they do. They always do. You know, you work to, you know, you get involved in a company. You kind of work. You know, they know, oh, you're reliable and all the rest of it. And they get you to work the extra overtime because they need output or throughput, whatever you want to call it. And that's fine, but after a certain amount of hours, you're just working for the tax because.
Yep.
And here they've taken all the Shani girl, Shaggy girl. How you doing? Welcome. You know the people are working here, all the overtime and that, but it's ridiculous. Why not hire more people? And the other part about it is you get to when you get to that threshold on your tax, you're just paying, you know, most of your money. You're just working, bloody near working for the government. And they've removed the incentives for a lot of things here. They're screaming about, oh, there's no private rental places because they took all the tax incentives away. So the people that were working the overtime, doing all the work, could put money into like an investment property and get a bit of a tax break on it. They took all that away. So no one wants to friggin' work. And you know, why worry about rental properties when the renter's got more rights than the owner? That's in this country.
Listen, Robert and Mac, how's the rental crisis in America on? Is renting okay, or because it's very bad here?
They're higher than fuck right now around here, comparatively speaking to what the average cost of living is. They're higher than hell. Frankly, if you got the means, you're an idiot not to just go buy something because you're going to be paying more than would cost you to just buy it.
So, what would a house in say? You're up the top there somewhere. I can't remember. In a city, what would it cost you for a house like a 3-bedroom medium house, 2-bedroom medium house in the States on average?
It depends on where
suburbs.
It depends on where you're at. I mean,
I got a 4-bedroom house, so my house is worth $290.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's actually
about $350 Aussie.
That's actually low comparatively speaking. A friend of mine's son bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just ranch style.
As I got ranch,
and not, you know, no property to speak of. I mean, it's not like he got like, you know, any land at all, and he paid over $300,000. But you're also talking economics of scale. It depends on the area you live in.
Of course, yeah.
You know, like the same house, like in California, would be $1.2 million. If it was in New York, it would probably be $1.7 million.
My taxes every year is like $7,000.
Yeah, and that's where they get you. That's crazy. It's got.
So if you, what about Detroit? I hear that's gone down the shit tube. You get a really cheap house.
What about San Francisco?
Yeah, bad, is it?
You're getting there like Detroit. They're taking all the damn business away because business can't afford to stay working or up and running because of all this bullshit they throw at these businesses. So they moved to Mexico. So they're taking all these jobs out of here.
Yeah.
We got an internal war on the United States, and you can thank Obama for that shit.
Yeah. Nathan, that's not true here. My wife's lucky to get a refund. In actuality, because of the way the tax laws are, if you don't have, you know, 5 kids or something like that, forget it.
Can you adopt?
Yeah, I had me
Yeah.
last year.
Really. Yeah, that's the thing about the cost of stuff, though, Steve. You have to look at economics of scale. What the average income is in an area versus what the cost of living is. The biggest problem is, like around here, we have a lot of people coming up from the city buying up property, which drives the prices up beyond what cost of living is.
That's the thing. Our government, guys, they used to build them. They called them housing commission flats. They were huge, massive buildings, and you'd be able to put immigrants in there. And some of the Australians would come on hard time, but there was a home for them to establish themselves and perhaps stay there for a couple of years and work towards buying their own home or whatever. They don't do that anymore. So these people have got nowhere to live, and there's there's something like correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny. There's something like 50, 60 people at when they advertise for a house for rent, and the rent's gone through the friggin' roof, right through the roof. I don't know what the future holds, but for any government, the only way to stop all these problems is to build these high-rise, ugly, disgusting, housing departments, buildings. Only way to stop it. That's why they do that in Ukraine and Russia. You see some of the photos of the massive buildings. How to solve the problem.
Yeah, well, it doesn't solve the problem. That actually creates more of the problem, because then basically you're treating people like they're fucking farmed out rats. And I don't see that getting better anytime soon. Yeah, Nathan, that's definitely not my wife's experience. She pays in a shit ton of tax, and as long we're happy as long as she doesn't have to pay in more. Like if she works a Sunday, basically half her wage goes to the government through taxes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like what Nathan's saying there, because I used to do it. I used to work seasonally, and that's the same as exactly the same as what Nathan's saying, because you weren't working all year. When you were working big hours, and then when you're off, you're not working, so you got your tax back. So it was as good as money in the bank to a certain extent. But like Beezy and Paula and that, it's you may as well call it the slave trade. It's you do it, or we'll find somebody else. That's their normal approach. That's the normal approach to most of it. If you won't do it, we'll get somebody else.
Well, and they're crying they can't get enough people to work, but in the same token, they can't keep good workers just because of that shit.
That's right. That gives that use and abuse.
Exactly. And unfortunately, our labor laws here have actually regressed. And don't get me wrong, I'm no fucking lefty bullshit crap like that, but there's a difference between reasonability and insanity. And we're in the land of insanity now. So
I can remember one company I worked for, and it was called Ericsson's, and they'd very regularly send in time and motion type people, and every one of their studies come back and virtually said, out of an 8-hour shift, you really only get the tops of 6 hours real work out of a person. And then all of a sudden, there used to be, your day shift, your afternoon shift, your night shift. Night shift always had better production levels than any of the other shifts because there wasn't as many dickheads around giving you the shits.
Yeah.
But the thing was, pretty well right across it, they all knew you'd only get 6 hours out of an A. And then they dropped the shifts off and went, you work day shift, which is 12 hours, and then work night shift, which is 12 hours. Well, so hang on. So how does that work when your time and motion people tell you only get 6 hours out of 8? So you're not working people 16 hours. So you're not gonna get 12 hours out of them. You're only going to get 8 hours out of them.
Well, but see, that's not quite the same when it comes to production work like Paula does. That machine doesn't slow down just because of time. So
that's
there is
right.
no gauge for how productivity when it comes to that. But what pisses me off when they talk about productivity, they say, well, we measure it against, the global average. Okay, the global average, we're what, in China or Africa, where they're paying somebody a fucking rice? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for these countries and their rights as well. They should have them. But in the same token, you can't measure productivity levels to countries where it's basically slave labor.
You get
cost on part.
You get the Chinese pissing in a bottle because you can't be away from the line and all this kind of shit. I wouldn't even work in an environment like that. I'd actually put a spanner in the works and fuck it up on purpose. But
that's the thing though. That's the norm for them, and unfortunately it's become kind of the norm. Well, like Beezy says here, it's a right to work state. Same thing here, which on the surface they sold it to people. It's supposed to be great because they don't have to, be part of a union or anything like that. Well, yeah, it's real great because then you can just bend over and take a rip the ass without fucking Vaseline.
Well, by everything going up, people are cutting back.
Space, Robert.
Yeah, people are cutting back. They're buying the cheap foods and causing medical issues with themselves because of the crappy foods. And then you got to go to the doctors all the time because you got type 2 diabetes, and that can be reversed, by the way. It's messed up, man. It really is. A lot of people around here are just, cutting back, getting rid of all their cable TV. Everybody's just using the internet now for streaming and watching stuff.
Yeah.
So it's getting worse.
But the one thing about it, we do reference these other countries, Southeast Asian countries and whatever. But the ones that actually take the product and push harder, a lot of them are the American companies, which they sell on a global stage.
Well,
and I
go ahead, Johnny.
I was just going to give it as reference. There's a clothing company here in Australia, and you say, "Oh, geez, those t-shirts are pretty cheap." And I actually did a bit of research, and I found out a t-shirt they sell for $20, which has got a bit of a logo on it, a bit better than a plain one type of thing, if you're into that. They fill containers up of those shirts, different sizes and all the rest of it, and they cost the company 25 cents per shirt, which they sell for $25.
Well, something I'd like to correct too. The idea of an American company, the only reason that they're an American company is because they want the protections that America gives them. If they could do it in other countries, like a lot of them have corporate headquarters in Ireland, even though they claim to be an American company, and they're all fucking multinationals. They're not. Yeah, they don't have no allegiance to any one country.
No, they only have the only allegiance they have is to the American dollar.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the only allegiance, and because they are. Look, I'm not going to get into exactly where all of them come from because we all know. The whole thing is the multinationals dictate.
Oh, for sure. Everything's been consolidated.
Yeah, and it's wrong. It's wrong. What happened to private enterprise? The multinationals fucked it up.
Well, there is. Well,
why didn't governments do something about it? Because they were on the payroll too,
exactly.
and they had shares in those companies and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rabbit.
How you doing, Frosty? Rabbit gone rogue.
Like
Oh,
the company
Rabbit.
I work for, their headquarters is in
Spain.
Rabbit. Yeah, Rabbit was pipped at the post by Avery on the trivia last Wednesday night, Robert.
Oh, geez, that's quite shocking.
Yeah, surprised everybody.
Yeah. But you know, the thing of it is though, with the consolidation of stuff, when people talk about capitalism, free markets and stuff like that, what they don't realize is we don't have capitalism, free market right now. We have corporatism.
That's right. We have dictatorships. That's
Correct.
what and you know, and tyranny, basically, because everything is you either work for us or you work for no one, and they usually build their factories in a place or take over a business, run it to the ground, then do what they want to do with it, and selective employment, lower the wages, lower the quality of life, and people have to accept it. Otherwise, well, we're going to have to move out, you know.
Well, you know, something I found hilarious and disturbing at the same time. An article that I was reading on the research that I do that was talking about Thailand. And the reason I said it, because you guys are into that, you know, that genre, but they were saying like in 10 years, they're going to have problems with people in Thailand because of the living standards have went up. And they're saying, well, people expect to be paid more and things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, if you're worried about fucking Thailand, it ain't no wonder our countries are going to shit. Because comparatively speaking, and I know you guys can speak, you know, firsthand of this, most people in Thailand are paid crap.
Correct.
You know, if you want to compare apples to apples. And then their corporations are complaining that the wages in South Asian countries are going up, you know, so much that well, we can't afford to compete. Can't, like you said, T-shirts 25 cents a piece, but they're selling for $25, and they can't fucking compete. Somebody somewhere sitting in a goddamn desk getting paid too fucking much, I think.
Well, you know, like the Burma, into India, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, you know, they have people on sewing machines in Thailand as well. And they're doing a contract job at home. They might have half a dozen sewing machines and everybody gets paid, you know, piece rate.
Yep.
And then once a week, you know, the truck comes along, picks up what you've got, give you some more shit to sew up. You know, that kind of crap's been going on since the bloody 60s.
Well, but see, now it's coming.
Has government?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Go ahead.
Well, it's coming.
I'm just going to say no. No,
go ahead, John. And I'll finish. I know
Would
what
you two quit your arguing?
Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was just going to say, and no government has addressed that because the person that's really working their guts out, they're doing the right thing. They're paying their taxes and all that. The corporates have always found a way of not paying their taxes, but they, throw a few envelopes around in higher places and get away with it. That's fucking criminal.
Well, it's been criminal for 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
The thing of it is now is they're bitch, piss, moan, and complain. You guys know what I do on my panels. Hence why I have 2 strikes now on my channel again.
We got another one.
Oh, fuck yeah. They don't like me at all. And I'm taking fucking YouTube to task this time. I'm not just fighting them here. I'm fighting them. I'm literally at the point I may file a lawsuit against them for discrimination.
Well, I hope you do, because they
Why?
are.
Because you're white?
No, because they'll allow standards of mainstream media to say the same things that I'm saying.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Sorry about that. Yeah, but it's like, for instance, this may sound kind of weird, but the Tuck Beats, right?
Yep.
Well, they definitely should be off the YouTube.
Oh, absolutely.
YouTube loves him. I mean, he's got so much stuff he does, and you don't even get any strikes or nothing. Is that because he's maybe black or something?
Well, I won't delve into that one, but I wouldn't say that.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. The thing I'm looking at, though, we've
think he loves transgender or something.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, though.
They won't take me down if I was trans.
If I was a purple-haired freak and put a damn dress on, I guarantee you they wouldn't give a fuck what I was doing.
Yep.
You might even get endorsements, honey.
Yeah, I might even get endorsements. Bud Light, even.
Yeah.
But that's the thing going on across the board on a lot of not just social media platforms, but in real life as well. And you wouldn't believe some of the shit I've read and seen, because I'm constantly got my nose into this stuff to make sure that when I say something, that I don't say something that's incorrect. And I'm telling you guys, the shit that's coming down the pipe that people aren't seeing is fucking atrocious.
Oh yeah.
Just unreal, the shit that's coming down the pipe. And I'm just trying to at least get some people to understand that we need to open your fucking mouths and say something, because we can't allow the politicians in all of our countries. It doesn't matter where you're from anymore.
Nope.
The markets that we live and work in, and that you have to compete against, is global. It isn't local.
The one thing that really shits me is when they take coal out of the ground, out of our country.
Yep.
And oil and gas and other resources.
I know exactly where you're going.
And then they say to us, oh, because of this, you have to pay a world parity price. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Well, where on the whole scale of things, as a corporate owner or shareholder, where is my remuneration? Simple question, but it can't be answered. They're digging up and selling my fucking country, shafting me, because the companies that don't pay tax, they're sucking up their asses. The politicians are raking in the dollars out of it. The mining companies are raking in the dollars out of it. But at the end of the day, they're selling out my country. And what do I get out of it? To be told, oh, there's wonderful employment in all the sectors, and this is really good for the economy. Bullshit.
Yep.
Show me the money.
Well, there's the rub. It's not show me the money, it's show me the value. Because money, in my opinion, right now, currency is fucking worthless. And that's one thing that this Wednesday, me and Brian Kennedy, you need to know, because we're doing shit on his channel while mine's in the bad boy corner.
You want to make sure you post a link, Robert. Post a link.
Yeah, I'll do that. You'll have to wrench me though.
Oh, hang on. Where are you? Did you type anything?
Yeah, I'll type in the chat.
I can do that.
The thing of it is, the currencies worldwide are falling apart. Okay, because it's a pump and dump game. The same thing that happened during the Great Depression. And that's why they're wanting to come up with this whole digital currency thing. And I'll tell you what, if they get that through, if people allow that to happen in their countries, you might as well hang it up, because you will be a fucking slave to the system then.
Fucking big time, Robert. Big time.
I've actually.
Oh yeah.
They're actually trying to do that now. We'd prefer you to pay with credit card than cash.
Yep.
It's just starting.
Yeah, but hang on. They've been doing that for a while. Government departments have been doing, but we'll charge you 3% extra for doing it for. I had a big argument with a government department. They said, you have to pay by credit card. And I said, I have cash. And they said, we don't accept cash. I said, legal fucking tender in Australia. This is, and jumped up and down and made a stink. I said, what? Because all you bastards thieve the money. Is that why? Is that why?
Yep.
You're all a bunch of crooks. So I threw it back on them. In the end, they took the money because it was exact change, exact money. Bang, there it is. They couldn't
have control over your cash. That's the end of all of us, mate. Once you have control of your cash, they'll be able to tell exactly what you do, exactly what you spend, where you do, where you fart, everything. They'll watch everything. Then they can track you with your mobile phone. Then they can track it. Well, we know exactly what you buy, exactly what you do.
TV, David, you've been watching too many bloody spy shows.
Well,
simple. You leave it.
John, good input.
It's deeper than that, though. And I said, and we've been doing research on this and exactly what their plans are when they're going to roll this shit out. I'm going to tell you right now, if people don't speak up, and they're going to roll it out this year.
We've had banks, because I live in a rural, kind of a rural-y type area. The whole thing about it is that in some of the towns, the banks have kind of closed.
Kind of closed?
Well, they still got the ATM, but there's no way. Do it online.
Exactly.
Now, with an aging population, mind you, and do it online, that's just bullshit. You try and tell, like, my old mate, I used to take him to the bank, once a week, and he'd go in and get his cash money that he needed for the week. He's 86 years old. You're going to tell him to go on fucking line? Oh, we've closed this part of the bank. You have to do it online. Well, he's not going to do it online or anything else.
Here, if you want to throw that up. And this isn't the only reference that I have of this shit that's being posted at banks now. And let me blow that up so people can see it. Shit. Is that helping? That's not really helping, is it? No, it ain't. Anyways, basically what it says is that if you want to take anything more than $2,000 out, and to take the $2,000 out, you have to give them 24 hours notice. And they want to know why. And if they don't think that your reason for it is legitimate, they'll refuse you to withdraw your cash.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, let's go back to the CBDCs for a second, the central bank currency system that they're trying to shove everything down to people's throats. It isn't that they're just going to be able to track every one of your purchases. If they need to stimulate an economy, say in a particular area like where you live, Johnny, what they can do is your cash now becomes programmable, and it can sunset. Meaning, if you have X amount of dollars and they say, well, we need people to all spend $200 a piece a day or a week in a particular sector. And if you don't spend that money, you will no longer have it. That's how they're going to force this shit down everybody's throat. And when it comes to that, if you don't spend your money when they deem that you need to, they'll just take it away from you.
These banks don't even have money in their vaults, like you're saying. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you won't be able to, like everybody says, well, I'll just pull my cash out and put it in the safe and everything. Once they get the whole digital currency thing going, and they say, well, we're not taking cash away. Oh, bullshit. Bullshit. And that's a lot of people don't realize. You go and read the stipulations they have behind this shit that they're trying to do, and it's insane. If you were to be confronted with it on a day-to-day basis in this, if they were to walk up and say, hey, this is the way you're going to do things now, you tell them to go get fucked. But they don't tell nobody that shit.
Well, and like with me online, buying something, right? So next, I go to purchase something, and next, what's going on? Oh, your credit card didn't allow the money to go through. So I got to call my bank. It's like, hey, what's going on here? Well, we don't know. It's a fraudulent charge or something. So you're okay in this thing? I go like, yeah. What are you telling me what I can do, not do with my money? Well,
that's the thing. They don't consider it any more money. And here's the other rub, Mac, that I don't understand why people don't get it. What gives the IMF and the central banks of each of our countries, what are they offering the people of value when it comes to any of this shit, when it comes to currency? There is no intrinsic value. If anything, it's inflationary, fractional reserve lending in every country. And basically, it's a backdoor tax. You are offered nothing of value. Period. So, and I don't get why people don't understand it. We are literally forced into a system we did not create. And by the very nature of the way it's set up, essentially we're going to be slaves to the system once that happens, because they've already proven that if they don't like your politics or like what you got to say, they'll just shut your shit off.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And don't think that somebody's going to help you, because if they help you, just like they did to the protesters and shit, they'll shut their shit off too.
Yep. Oh, this is what's going on around here. I kid you not. Okay, so remember the big old thing we had downtown where all those kids piled up down there, and they called it a riot? But it was just all these kids just happened to get this message on their phones. Hey, let's have a meetup. It's a nice day. So next thing, you've got a lot of people meeting up at the lakefront. Cops can't handle it. Somebody gets shot. They're making a big stink over it. Now, Saturday night, when I go to work, I go to town through Tinley, through 80th Avenue, and they put up a carnival there. No big deal, right? So you got family and everybody there, and all of a sudden these kids get a text saying, hey, let's get over here. There's going to be a big party. Sort of like, I'd say, at least 200 kids just piled up and show up, and they start jumping on cars, and they're making this carnival real bad. So they close it down, and this carnival is supposed to make money for the town. So they had to close it down Sunday because there was a report that this flash mob was going to go there. So who's posting these flash mobs for these kids to pile up? It seems like any kind of event that's going on, if they can get a flash mob there to ruin it, I mean, they're ruining people gathering. You know what I'm saying? They can see all these cell phones together through the 5G, and it's just like, okay, flash mob over here. But who's got control? Put all these messages on all of these kids' phones. They get these messages.
Google. If
you know, keep an eye on that. Every time you see a big event, you get a flash mob, and they all got a message on the phone. Hey, let's meet up.
Oh, it's social media type stuff, but it's running through Google and all the rest of it. But the part about it is, it's like I get shit on my phone, And I go, why the hell's this? And, you know, I've never, when I first got my phone out of the box and all the rest of I read the privacy and this and that thing. Oh, do you agree? I went, no. And I just set up I keep on getting that same thing. Oh, you have to agree to our policy. And I said, well, you can stick your phone up your ass. Give me back the money I paid for it. And you can shove it that far up your ass and come out your throat. I don't care. I don't want your bullshit advertising. It's my phone. I purchased it. I own it.
See, they don't see it that way no more nowadays. Same thing with your computers. You literally don't. The only thing you own is the hardware. Everything that runs it, you don't own that.
Oh, I just got mine changed over. Actually, it's surprisingly SSD
Shit.
hard drive put into it and all this kind of shit. You know, stuff
Even-
cleaned out. A couple of
Even if
$100.
my house is paid off, I don't own my house. You know that?
No,
Why?
you don't.
Because once I stop paying my taxes, in about 3 years, they can kick me out of my house. Now, some people have, it's happened to them, but you get this one dude that will destroy the living shit out of his house. It's his house, his property, can do what he wants. It's not his land, but it's his house. He can get in trouble for demolishing his house inside, breaking the foundation up, and so you can't live in it, make it uninhabitable. He can get in trouble for doing that. Isn't that messed up?
Yep.
Well, the whole thing about it, like, if I want to demolish this place, for instance, I would have
Right.
to get a demolition permit, but they can't stop me from demolishing it.
If you had a lien against your house for taxes here in the States, and if you went through and they could prove that you intentionally destroyed stuff, they could put you in prison.
Ain't that fucked up? Your property. I can do whatever I want with my property.
Well, we had a thing about stuff. Oh, many years back in the 80s, we had a vote here, and the prime minister at the time, it came back that all the people said, "No, go fuck to yourselves to the third party government." And the politician at the time said, "Prime Minister, wanker, fucking drunken piece of shit cunt he was. His name was Bob Hawke." He said, "Oh, like fuck, that's going to happen." And you know what? It didn't happen. But the whole part about it is you come down to constitutional law. What we voted on is law, not what they say. Fuck them.
Let me. I want to address Rabbit in chat here 1 second.
You do that, and I'll go and have a smoke.
You're saying that everybody's in a state of paranoia. I have to wonder, Rabbit. Have you went and read what the outlooks are for the IMF and for the ESG through the UN and what the WEF has planned?
No, they probably don't look at that. I mean, I'm not paranoid, but I know some people that are. I got a relative that's like, "Okay, dude, you need to relax. You're really going overboard here."
Well,
But
no,
it's
but
In
what
Australia,
I'm saying is, go ahead, Stephen.
In Australia, gentlemen, they do the same thing, but you can actually smash the house up if you really have to. But what they do is they cut your water down. They cut it down to a trickle. Then they'll cut it down to a drip until you pay your rates. We call them rates over here. I don't know if you've got the same word over there, which is
Yeah.
absolutely disgusting. You can have a family of 7 or 8 and scraping and scratching to survive, and they'll cut your fucking water off. We're
Well,
not the sort of country that you cut the water off, because it does get hot in summer, real hot.
I say here they don't cut it down. They just shut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 with fries.
They
Wow.
do. Except Noni.
The thing of it is, Rabbit, and I agree with you. Just get on with your day or something like that. That's fine. Ignoring stuff that the politicians and the corporations are doing at this point in time is not a smart idea. And it's got nothing to do with paranoia. The whole idea when they banned about the idea of conspiracy theories and all that stuff.
They just use that word to debunk us.
Wait a minute, Rabbit. Hypotheticals. Would you like me to show you the documentation? There's nothing hypothetical about anything I've said. Absolutely nothing.
But regarding Windows, it's got a lot of malwares in it. You can remove. I don't think you can never remove 100% of it, but you can cut it right back down. But broke it is. Next update, it's all back, I suppose.
Well, that's the whole idea, Stephen. You don't really have control of your own systems anymore.
Can, but it's
randomly tearing your house down. Okay, I can show you a guy in the States here. And believe it or not, he was the one that went batshit nuts and built this dozer and run through town.
Oh yeah, the killdozer.
Yeah. Well, what
Yeah.
the backstory of that is, most people don't understand, is that he was in that situation where he was literally being taxed out of his own property.
Yes, he sure was.
And they were going to charge him for knocking down his own house. So he said, fuck it, went after all of them because they were going to throw him in jail for doing that.
Yep.
So
Eventually, they killed him.
that's, yeah, eventually they killed him. And that's not hypothetical.
Yeah, he took a
you've got a
bulldozer
very nasty
and
tax
welded
department
all
over
these
there.
iron plates on his bulldozer like a tank. And you know what store he crashed in? It was happened to be an appliance store. Went in.
Did it make you cry, Mac?
Yeah, it's like, oh, no, the appliances you're running over. They didn't do nothing to you.
And I'll tell you, Robert, this is something I've been saying on my panels when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's just like when they bandied about the words of conspiracy theories when it come to the COVID and all that stuff. And we'll come to find out it wasn't conspiracy theory.
Nope.
Indifference and apathy is fine and great 50 years ago. You had that ability to do that.
Yeah, just open your eyes a little bit more. Open your eyes a little bit more. Do a little bit of research. You'll see it. Keep watching your sports and other things that are interesting. But doing research is boring. I understand that, but this is what's going on with people. It's like, I don't want to watch this crap. It's a bunch of BS. And yeah,
it's interesting what you guys were saying before. I couldn't get a word in your booth. Talking too much. But about the banks, going back 20 years, you go on a queue at a bank and you'll see all this advertising for the internet, this. And there was a dirty, long fucking queue there. It'd take you probably half an hour to get served. Now, this was the idea of it. Now, you take a 90-year-old or 85 or 80-year-old into a bank and tell them that they've got to start using the internet. Well, they don't even know what that fucking is, half of them. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's just savage, I think. They shouldn't be allowed, they're turning everything over to the internet, which they're going to do. I won't say why, though, I think that, but, I've got letters about my mother that she'd have to go online and do this online and do that. And, are you kidding? Jesus.
Hey, Rabbit, the post that I posted about the notice on a bank about withdrawing cash, and you could only withdraw, and if you could have read it, it said £2,000, is out of the UK. So don't think that it isn't happening there too, because it certainly is.
Well, like I said, if I went to go buy a car with cash in Arizona with $6,000 I wanted out of my bank, I had over 100,000 in there, right? So I'm in there, and it's like I need to get 6,000. It's like, what? Like, yeah, I'm buying a car. Hold on. Yeah, we can't give you your money. I was like, you know what? How about this? I'll close my damn account out. I want all my money now. Oh, we can have to come back because we're gonna have to get this money together. It'll take about a week. You can have all your money then. I go, well, just give me my $6,000. So eventually, by me complaining, that they let me have $6,000 cash.
Well, actually,
my
Mac,
money, damn it.
Actually, Mac, I went to one bank I was with, and they said, we need identification for withdrawals over $1,000.
Wow.
And I said, well, that's fine. And I said, well, why is that? And I said, oh, it's a government thing. And then they said, oh, there's limits on how much you can draw. And I said, well, actually, I wanted to draw out 40,000.
Wow.
And they said, well, we don't think we can give you 40,000 today. And I said, well, okay, I'll be back tomorrow. And with that, they said, well, actually, you'll have to talk to the manager. I went to talk to the manager and I said, well, I want 40 grand fucking today or tomorrow. Simple as that. And he said, oh, well, we'll have to, you know, and it's bullshitting me around. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll make it real fucking easy for you. Same with what you said, Mac, but I didn't piss around. I said, I'll be back tomorrow for the balance of my account. And in cash, the way it was put in here. And I said, and if you think I'm going to leave the bank or anything without my money, I said, there's going to be some bedlam going on in here. I went back the next day and they said, oh, here's a cashier's check. And I thought, no, I'm not accepting it. And they said, that's as good as cash. And I said, why? I take it to the next bank and they say it has to clear.
Exactly.
And I said, so don't piss me around. I want my money. I'll come back in a few hours' time. Which I did do. I went to the hotel and had a half a skin full of grog. Went back. And I wasn't even nice. I just opened this prick's door and I said, where's my money? Otherwise, this is going to last all night. And then I'm going to charge you for a missed flight, a missed everything, because you're being a prick. I got my money.
And the thing is, Johnny, I guarantee you that wouldn't happen now.
Oh no, I'd be locked up in. I'd be locked up in a jail.
Yep, they'd have you arrested for wanting your own money.
Well,
I sat and looked through what cash reserves each country's holding, comparatively speaking, to the amount of money they actually have out, and it's less than 2.5%. Historically, it's been 10. So they are whittling cash down. They don't want people having cash. And hence why they're putting limits on it. That's why they're closing local bank branches and only having ATMs, because generally ATMs here, they limit how much you can take out a day.
Yeah.
So you literally are unable to pull your cash out. And they're doing that because they say, well, it'll stop bank runs. Well, okay, the only thing that starts bank runs is when banks go ass up and people want their damn money. And all these banks closing as of late is nothing more than a Ponzi scheme where they're consolidating them all into the big banks.
Yeah. I'm actually with a smaller bank. And I'd virtually go to the local branch, walk in, and say, look, I need, I think a few weeks ago, I went in, I said, you know, for a couple of tradies and a few bits and pieces, look, they said, oh, how's your bill going? I said, it's a pain in the ass. Things aren't happening. Like I said, so I'm doing other shit. You know, I need $5 grand. Yeah, no worries, Sean. There you go. You can have it. So I've known the manager of that bank since she was a little kid. And I go to the next branch, which is the home branch type of thing. And I know everybody in there. That's what the big banks forget about. And that's why they hate the little banks and try and screw them around and all the rest of it. Because the little banks work for the people. The big banks work for the corporate. Because, yes, the bank I'm also a shareholder in. You know, I was one of the startup people when you know, by putting me money in there.
Two with fries. Cashless society is the way to go, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the way, mate. But do you know the biggest disease carrier in history has been the actual cash? When you touch that cash and give it to someone else, it's not that other person catches whatever disease, whatever monkey virus is around. So, yeah, but it looks like the cash is on its way out.
Yeah.
We're getting more and more like, what was it, the Jetsons, wasn't it, John? The Jetsons?
Well, we've got restaurants
What do you
and places around here that will only accept cash, no credit cards.
Yeah, that's right. That's
So
what
they-
they're doing here.
so they
Matt,
can
that's
play
what
with the
they're doing
money.
here. Yeah,
Well,
that's
you gotta-
supermarket.
you-
We'd prefer cash. It's on every fucking window. We'd prefer cash.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So they can play with the money at the other end.
Yeah.
Now, another weird thing, I mean,
You know, you-
maybe switch this up a little bit, but they're trying to depopulate us, right?
Probably not.
Okay, so I figured this out. You've got groups of people that have never got the hokey pokey, right? Like some of the Muslims. Who else is it? The Mennonites and the Amish. And there's these smaller countries and smaller towns that the stuff they can get to. Okay, some of these people from birth, they never get the vaccinations. When you're born, they give you all these shots and stuff. Now, if they're trying to depopulate people, don't you think that if this thing came across and got everybody sick, that why are we going to give them a cure for this? We just let people die because, hey, man, we're trying to depopulate the world, and why would they even come up with a vax? You know what I'm saying?
I don't
In a
think the
way?
world's quite. I don't think the world's quite at the limit of necessarily requiring
I mean,
a
there's people
depopulation.
that
I
live
think
fine without any
we've probably
shots.
we've probably got 100
Since
years to
birth.
go, and after that, we won't be allowed to have any fucking at all. But it's not on its limit yet. I mean, China's pretty crowded, and so is India. And, India's catching up with China. That's another thing to look at. But
that's
yeah,
easy.
they're
Easy
trying to
to
get rid of population. They are. Yeah. Was the coronavirus an accident? Mhm.
Almost, you listen to the World Health Organization. It was just totally an accident. It had nothing to do with nothing. China's as fucking squeaky clean as a brand new revolver.
You
know. If you guys haven't watched this, give me 1 second, I'll pull it up. You really need to watch it. It's out of the European Union. It was a summit that they had. And it's a long, it's a long watch. It's hours, but you can skip the first 10 minutes because it's nothing more than their anthem and all that bullshit. But if you get through the next 15 minutes of that, so about 20 minutes in it, if your blood isn't boiling, then I don't know what to tell you. But this will tell you what exactly went on. And now this is no bullshit. This is in front of the European Union Parliament. And strangely enough, it's left on YouTube, and they if I were to say half the shit they say in this video from the European Parliament, I wouldn't have a channel anymore. But if you have not seen that, it behooves you to watch both part 1, part 2, and the press release. And the media is ignoring this. And I will tell everybody, take the time, sit down, and listen to this.
All right, added to my list of watches.
Actually, I just looked at it and it come up about all this coronavirus stuff. Do you want to send feedback to YouTube? Yes, I do. Describe your feedback? Bullshit. And you know what? It won't let me post that. Fucking corrupt cunts.
They're asking you for feedback on that video?
Yeah.
You're shitting me.
No.
I've got no problem seeing it.
Now that's that. But it's all about. You got the latest on coronavirus and the health and all.
Oh
this.
yeah.
And I just went, well, I don't want to know that. Fuck it off. It's old hat. It's bullshit. You've sold that till you can't sell it anymore, and you're still flogging the same dead horse. And here's good old googly, YouTubey, fucking pieces of shit. If anybody from Google's listening, I hate you, you double standard pieces of shit.
But anyways, I will tell everybody that's no joke. If you want to know what has really went on and what's really going on, listen to that. When it comes to the coof. And as I said, if you get through the first 20 minutes of that, and if your blood's not boiling, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but does it make sense what I said to Robert?
Pardon?
They're trying to depopulate us, and this
No,
thing is like you say it's what it is.
Mac, you're absolutely wrong.
Well, I'm just saying, if this is the way that is, you figure about it, why would they try to, save people by this, jab? When if this thing was real, it's like, oh, we can definitely get rid of a lot of people. So let's not even come up with nothing. Let people just get sick and die.
Well, as far as their jabs went, Mac, half of them have been banned in this country after they jabbed most of the population with them, saying that they will cause all kinds of other problems. So guess who's liable? No one, because everybody had to sign a disclaimer.
Yeah.
If you couldn't do that, you couldn't walk outside. You couldn't lead a half even normal life. Yeah, what a load of pack of bullshit that is.
Yeah, and Frosty's absolutely correct. We're already in a population decline, hence why they're pushing for immigration everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And the thing is here, we've always had an immigration thing happening, but it was from this country, that country. So what we weren't creating was little countries within our country with mass populations from immigrants. But what they've done now, they've gone, oh yeah, we'll take all these bastards. And the thing is, we've got cities within cities, which, let's say, come from everywhere.
Yep.
And they've created their own little cities. We've had Sausage will be able to tell you about this as well. Dandenong, an outer suburb city in Victoria. The local mayor said, "Oh, we're going to call it Little India." How about fuck right off with your Little India? How about calling it Australia? Because if they don't want to sign their documents and do it all right, they can fuck off back to where they come from. That's not racist or anything like that. I'm proud to be an Australian to a certain extent. And if people don't want to be proud to be here and call themselves an Australian, keep their identity to a certain extent, but accept the place and the culture that you've come to. And if they can't do that, fuck back off where they come from.
Very well said, John. Very well said.
Yeah,
I'm starting to sound like a fucking politician, and I hate that.
I'd vote for you, mate. I'd vote for you. No, it's true. I can't see. Look, I'm down in Tasmania. Johnny's down in Victoria. We're not far from each other, but we're down the south. But there's no sort of prejudice towards people in these bottom states. I don't know about the upper states, up Queensland and that, but there's a little bit of it. But Jesus, everybody's equal in Australia. But like Johnny said, leave your dirty habits at home, and if you want to come to Australia.
Nathan's absolutely correct. It's a demographic decline, but that's exactly because we are when it comes to first world countries, it's actually without immigration, we'd be in a population decline. And the thing is, the way corporations are set up nowadays, they have to have perpetual population growth. Because they skim so much off the population and their wages that the systems aren't designed to be static. So, Mac, when you're talking about I don't even want to say that because that can actually get you dinged on YouTube, but you're not entirely wrong, but what you got to realize, it's a natural thing actually happening. The other things that they're doing on that isn't necessarily for the same reasons that you're thinking. There's much more other things going on behind the scenes that I can't speak of here publicly because it will get Johnny dinged. Because they still claim it's conspiracy theory, even though you can go right to the WHO, the United Nations, or WEF and literally read their own fucking documents, and that's what they want to do. Actually, that's not what they want to do. That's what they are doing.
Two things. Frosty saying not enough births. I've done my bit. I've waved the flag for the country. Don't worry about that.
Dad, he did a lot of practicing.
Yep. Anyhow, one thing you said there, Robert, first world countries.
Exactly.
Now, I'd like to know which one is a first world country, because if I look at America as a whole and I look at all the charities and all that when that cyclone went through down the south end, and all that money that was donated that never went anywhere except for into banks.
Yep.
To say America's first world, I would disagree.
Well, it depends upon where you live, but that's by design, Johnny. And they're doing this in all countries.
The same as this country. I can tell you the first time I thought things weren't too bad here. It was lacking because I'm in a country area. Things were lacking a little bit. And realistically, Australia is the name of the island. There's 7 fucking countries here.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. And one lot of parasites that feed off all the rest of it, which is called the federal government. So at the end of the day, infrastructure here wasn't too bad. It could have been better, all of that kind of stuff. When I first went to Thailand, first time I went to Thailand, I thought to myself, fuck me. And I did some research. Who built or who designed these multi-level freeways and all this kind of stuff? And I found out the company that I work for, Victoria Roads, they designed everything. And yet they couldn't fix a fucking pothole in a local country road.
Because that doesn't fill enough politicians' pockets, unfortunately, Johnny.
Yeah. And then, like the Philippines, for instance, dirt tracks and shit like that. Some of the roads are okay, some of them are shit. But the thing is, that's third world.
Yep.
And realistically, the wonderful thing about YouTube, you look around different countries and there's, vloggers and whatever. And you say to yourself, well, hang on, how can this country wave a flag, say we're the first world country, when, Wall Street and New York might be, but the rest of the country is fuck you.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with, I've been in New York, and trust me, it isn't even what you would believe. It's there might be what's considered first world when it comes to the upper echelon, but the average day-to-day person there basically lives in abject poverty.
Yeah, still on the street, the slums, the normal, man, you get out of Manhattan and it just deteriorates. Yeah. Because what's the money people worried about? Money. They don't give a shit about anybody else. They don't even give a shit about each other, because they'll shaft each other just to get more money.
Well, that's not entirely true, Johnny. We're not talking about the 1% is like the people like to bandy about. We're talking about the top 1.0001%.
Yeah.
I mean, they control the damn lottery. What the hell? And they'll get money in their pockets from that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that shouldn't be that are, Mac. That
Well,
people
you
don't
know
pay
that
attention to.
there was a bar here in our town that had a raffle, and they just kept rolling over the raffle, and whoever won this pot of money, this thing was up in the millions. Government got a hold of this and shut them down. It's like, hold on, this is just a raffle with our money. Why can't we give it, the $1 million to this person that wins it? Because they don't have their hand in the coffer. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah. I used to normally go out on a Friday night, and it'd be the return bloody service persons league. Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever. I'd go there for a raffle or the lawn bowls club. Not that I play lawn bowls. But it was like the meat raffle. You go for the meat raffle and catch up with your mates and stuff like good social event. Now, if I controlled raffles, because it's all the same, it's selling the dream.
Right.
And everybody has the dream. If I won the raffle, that'd be a wonderful roast. Or if I won Tats Lotto, it's worth so many million. Well, look what I could do with that. We have actually had shows, and I dare say in America and that have as well, where people have won multi-million-dollar lotteries.
Oh, billions here, actually.
Yeah, and within a few years, they're broke, destitute, and emotionally and physically fucking rooted.
Yep, because they don't understand the difference between a instant one-time payment and cash flow. They don't understand that at all.
No.
Yeah.
I want all my money at once, but yet you get it, a big taken chunk out of that sucker.
It isn't that though, Mac.
It's like half of it's taken.
Example, let's say somebody gets $10 million. Okay, they think, hey, great, I got $10 million, but you actually don't.
Nope.
Now, if you invest it and you making, let's say, $1 million a year off it in your investments, then your cash flow is $1 million a year. Okay,
right.
That's your budget. But most people that win the lottery are in no way, shape, or form have ever been confronted when it comes to that kind of money and don't understand how it works. That's why 50% of them are broke within 5 years.
Yep.
And actually worse than when they won the fucking lottery.
Yeah. And the instant friends and all the rest of it.
Oh yeah.
Actually, if I in honesty, if I won like kind of big heaps of dollars, I would realistically give probably a good amount of it away to selected charities. But I wouldn't throw a big party and go, yeah, I won.
I wouldn't say nothing.
No, that's right. I'd say zip. I'd buy a little bit more real estate, but the whole part about it is.
Well, see, that's an investment, Johnny. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's for the future. I'd do stuff that would benefit my beneficiaries when I'm fucking gone.
Yep.
And
Rabbit's exactly correct. They buy a mansion and can't afford the maintenance nor the taxes because they don't understand cash flow versus actual value.
Yep.
Mm.
I've seen a lot of big houses on service calls and there's nothing in it, no furniture or nothing, because they can't afford to buy furniture because they went and bought themselves a big ass houses to keep up the Joneses, Yeah, I've seen it a lot.
Tell you what, that bloody expression you just used there, Mac. Those fucking Joneses must be rich cunts, because we got those Joneses here, and everybody got to keep up with them bastards too.
Yeah,
But
people's egos.
my old man bought a farm off the Joneses because they went bust ass fucking broke on that farm. So that
Wow.
fucked that up.
Yep. But the people that have that kind of mentality, I tell you, I see it, like I said, a lot on service calls, and
yeah. You know, but
I mean, I don't understand it.
You
They're just a husband and wife, maybe 2 kids in this fucking house they got. They can fit like 4 families in it. And they got these high voltage ceilings that they got to heat and air conditioning. And there's, that's all wasted space.
you're right. You know, the
Yeah.
high voltage ceilings, they look lovely. They
Oh, the
do
house,
look
yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
But the thing is, during summer, they're a bit of a benefit because the
Yep.
heat's up the top. But in
Right.
the winter, hot air rises, so you need fans to bring that down. But that's an extra couple of thousand square feet that you got to fucking heat up.
Well, like I said, that boils back down to and Rabbit, I'll agree with you if I believe you'd be right, and you're absolutely right in that aspect. People don't understand the difference between having money in the bank and cash flow. They don't understand what sustainability is and maintenance and all that stuff. It's like there was a while back. There was and Nathan's absolutely correct in that. And it wasn't just George Carlin that said that. There was a one person that won. It was like $2.3 billion. When in all actuality, when it was said and done, they probably got like I don't know, like 1.4 billion after taxes. And that person must have been smart because they absolutely disappeared off the face of the damn planet. Hopefully they were smart enough not to go out and just start blowing it on stupid shit.
Yeah, that'd be. Oh well, Ashfield. Well, what do you expect him? Actually, that reminds me of a story. There was marijuana's illegal in this state. So anyhow, there was a young fellow. He lived slightly out of one of the towns, probably near on a couple of mile. And he was a sandwich short of a picnic. And he was in the pub saying, "Oh, my plants are doing really well. It's nice and bushy, and you want to see the heads on it, just about ready to pick them and all that kind of stuff." And he's in a hotel bar, type of saying that. Well, he got home and his plants were gone.
Imagine that.
Yeah, well, like I said, he was a sandwich short of a picnic. So he walked all the way back into the town and went to the police station and reported the theft. And they said, well, how many plants were there? And that poor bastard went and spent a little bit of time behind bars because it was classed as a commercial crop and all this kind of stuff. But, he was reporting that somebody stole his shit, but he, it was illegal to grow it. But you reckon the cop would have said, look, thanks for the tip, mate. Where did you talk about it? And if we ever see you, we're going to keep an eye on you, piss off back home. We'll give him a ride back home. He was a bit of a nuff. But yeah, that is actually the truth. It was actually in one of the fucking papers. Yeah. But I was actually around because a lot of the times I used to go out past him when I was heading out to the farm where he had to get off and, drop him at home. And I'd never been into the weed or anything like that. I used to just say to him, keep your mouth shut about what you're doing, mate. But yeah, you end up behind bars reporting a theft. Eh. Oh, I don't know if that'd be such a great idea, Rabbit. Because half the accountants around are bloody bigger crooks than the mafia.
Yep.
Well, see, that's what you do is you don't go to some fly-by-night person. You go to a firm that services people with a lot of money, because they're not going to screw you, because if it gets out that they screwed you, then all the bigger players are going to say, hey, wait a minute. And they're going to start looking at them saying, hey, have you been screwing me?
Right.
So you go to the bigger ones like that, and you're a lot less apt to have problems with something like that. Now, if you go to someone's cousin's sister's brother who claims he can do everything, yeah, you're asking to get fucked.
Yeah, my dad got screwed by his accountant for his business. Next door neighbor.
Gentlemen, is in the bank. Put it in the bank. You can take it out 100 at a time. No problem.
We were like in a strip mall. He was our neighbor, and eventually he messed with my dad's money. And yeah, he still owes my dad money, but my dad's dead and he's dead. But yeah, chunk of change.
So in other words, he was the foundation for the strip mall, Mac.
Well, he had a lot of bills himself. He was in a wheelchair. He hurt himself when he was in college. But yeah, I guess he was falling back on some bills for the house and trying to keep everything going in the house, and and take my dad's money to help pay his bills. And next thing you know, boom. He dug himself a hole he couldn't get out of. He thought he was be able to get more money to pay back my dad, but that didn't work. His wife left him and shit.
Yeah,
you should be surprised how many accountants in Australia go the way of the evil and pinch money. Jesus Christ, can't trust them over here.
I've actually accountant I use. And whatever. I usually meet him in the supermarkets on the weekend, and he's taken his mother shopping. He's got his wife and his own family and kids and that, but on the weekends, whichever day, but he always takes his mother shopping and stuff like that. So to me, and he's never done the wrong thing, Bob. He actually more the right thing than the wrong thing. He's a bloody good bloke. If I had like a lottery win or something of that nature, I would ask a little bit of advice with him. I wouldn't hand the money over, but I'd ask some advice. DWP, welcome. Swirton. Here's me mate Swirton, the gay beer drinker.
Good idea, Johnny.
Well, Swirton's been drinking gay beer before they brought in Bud Light.
We all drink Foster's over here.
Yeah, like fuck we do. That's why they export it to England. That's why it's exported to
I think you're
England.
actually making it over there now, John. They make it directly in England. It's just disgusting shit.
Well, there's no good money.
What about this one? Put another prawn on the barbie. We don't call them fucking prawns over here. Put another shrimp on the barbie. We don't call them shrimp. We call them prawns. Yeah.
Don't come the raw prawn with me, pal.
Yeah, that's what was that? Paul Hogan. I think that was designed for the American market, though. They wouldn't know what a prawn is. They call it a shrimp. Is that correct, Johnny?
Yeah.
Because they call them shrimps over there.
Yeah, but
another name for beer is Foster's.
Yeah, I know.
There was an Australian movie that promoted Foster. It was The Adventures of Barry Mackenzie.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yep.
But really.
Also, I think it was Paul Hogan as well. Did he?
But No, he
The
didn't
movie-
do five.
No, he didn't. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, but it's weird because the movie The Great White North, the Canadian people, their names was Mackenzies also. Out here. The Mackenzie brothers. It was a funny movie.
But like here, if you say, if somebody's talking bullshit or whatever, or you just say, "Don't come to raw prawn with me, fella." Yeah.
But we never call them shrimps. No, the English don't call them. They call them prawns as well. I don't know about the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Well, probably New Zealand calls them prawns, don't they?
All right.
Well, but come on, Steven, Johnny, you guys drive on the wrong side of the fucking road. So Jesus.
I'm gonna
okay?
Who's
head off
driving
to
on the
work.
wrong side of the fucking road? Seriously,
I'm
you
heading
drive
off to work,
backwards.
guys.
Have you ever tried putting the steering wheel on the front of the fucking car, for fuck's sake? You drive with the boot first. Jesus, Robert. Wake up to your fucking self.
I'm heading off to work. I'll probably be on my phone, so I'll be logging back in
Yeah.
in about 5
You go-
minutes.
You going past
That's
that
all right,
corner
mate. No
again?
problems, mate. You have a good day at work.
I'll be
mate,
back
I-
on. I'll be in the car.
No worries, mate. The whole thing is the left side of the road and the right side of the road. America first started off driving on the left side of the road because that came from Britain or the British. When they had the war and all independence, and they just went, we want to fuck the British off and anything to do with it. That's why there was the US measurements in fluid and in weight, and they drove on the opposite side of the road because the British drove on the left, and we're different. We're America. We'll drive on the right. That's the only thing it comes from. It's really. An arse bleed thing, because we're different. We're different.
Actually, Johnny, there's more that goes into it than just that, but that's all right.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was the
big
short
Johnny,
story,
yeah.
Robert. That was the
That was real
short
short.
story.
Yeah. This is much a horrible experience I had was in Russia when we came to a Tina section. Robert, you'd probably refer to this, and they crossed over and went just turned left. I friggin' shit myself, Robert, because in our country it's the opposite side of the road. We're going to have a head on. You'd do the same if you come to Australia. You'd absolutely shit yourself by turn right.
Oh yeah, for
Jesus,
sure.
it's friggin' scary, mate. I tell you, when you used to be on one side of the road and all of a sudden you're on the opposite side and you turn into the traffic. But you're not. You're going with the traffic. Very scary.
I'd tell you what I used. I used to watch a webcam site. I don't know where it's probably still there. It's the crossover from Mexico into the United States because the Mexicans drive on the opposite, on our side of the road, and the same as the Canadians when they're going over into the US. They've got to swap sides of the road, so their
No,
roads.
I think they're all the same, Johnny. They're all the same.
They're all the same, Johnny.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, there was one thing I saw, and there was this elaborate bit of road that crossed over and went over the other ones that were kind of coming in, and then,
Yeah,
Probably Europe, maybe Europe or maybe Asia or something.
But yeah, it was the left hand side to the right hand side driving. But I remember the first time I went to the Philippines, and I got on a motorbike and come into a roundabout.
Bunch of fucking eyes.
And to me, coming from Australia, all right, got to be on this side of the road, whatever. But if I pulled up somewhere or pulled into a service station to get some fuel and went to go back onto the road again, I'd have to have a real stop and think about it, a couple of minutes to, a couple of seconds or whatever, to watch which way the traffic's going.
Oh yeah.
Because here, if I was, from the left-hand side of the road or whatever, if I'm pulling out of a service station, I'd be looking to my right to see what's coming.
Yep.
But over there, I'd have to go on the opposite side of the fucking road, so I'd have to look to the left and the right, or all this kind of shit, to go across the traffic. And for the first few times it was a brain drain. And I
Johnny,
must
the-
admit,
the-
I will admit, I went around the roundabouts a few fucking times to work it out.
The best way to handle that situation in Johnny is when you're in a taxi or something that's on the opposite road, close your fucking eyes. I started doing that. I just closed my eyes. Fuck that. It's so fucking scary.
But yeah,
Anyway.
it's all a bit of fun though, isn't it?
That's not fun, John.
Sophie, you hate Queenslanders? Oh, look, I don't hate them all. There's good and bad in everywhere, but Queenslanders are different. They're different. They are different. It seems, when I went up to, actually, Sausage, when I went up to Cooktown to see me mate, bloody wonderful trip. And everybody in the fucking town was either from Victoria or South Australia. They were all escapees from divorces or something.
Yeah.
DWP, you hate the English. That's your birthright to hate that. Welcome along, by the way, DWP. Welcome along. It's your birthright to hate the English. That looks very nice. No snow. All them fucking trees dropping their leaves in the winter, blocking up the drains and flooding the houses. Yeah, wonderful.
Well, you can thank the Earth's tilting for that.
I don't know how you could live there, Robert, and that and Mac, how you could live there in that cold. Look at it.
Well, realistically, Stephen, it's probably warmer than when we are.
Probably. At the moment, yeah.
Because we get the cold winds and stuff like that, which are about 90 miles a friggin' hour off the mountains and all that shit.
Yeah, don't they? Yeah. We have beautiful summers, though, don't we?
Oh, yeah, the whole 5 days of them.
After living in Bangkok, John, for so many years, and the heat just drives you fucking nuts after a while. You can't fucking handle it.
Well,
You've got to get away from it. You got air conditioning home, you got air conditioning car, you got air conditioning wherever else you go. But let's reverse that. If you're in a colder climate, you've got a fucking heater in your house, or there's something wrong with you. You go into your heated car, you go into your heated wherever. So what's the
Heated pool.
Even you two guys, Mac and Robert, you just put your fucking heater on in your fucking car, don't you? Well, go down to the tropics, you put your air conditioning on.
Yep.
They don't have, in the tropics, they don't have heaters. Like a lot of cars in Southeast Asia don't have a heater in them. They don't have the heater coil.
It gets pretty cold in Thailand, John.
Yeah, depends on some places, but
I went all the way up the I went all tropical up into the mountains there one time in I can't remember.
Froze to death.
Right. Yeah, fucking did I ever, mate? Nearly wet the bed to keep warm. Didn't wet the bed. It was fucking cold, believe me, John. Oh. Yeah. But being in the tropics, you wouldn't expect that. It was fucking froze me fucking nuts off. It was up near the Burmese border. Jesus.
Yeah, but that is cold up there. But like Mae Sop, that's
Mysop, that's it. Yeah. But you look at Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai, they can get down to fucking 14 and 15 degrees. I think one of them even went down to 13 degrees. They do get fucking cold up there. Fuck that.
Well,
I always sort of title it as tropical, sweating your balls off. Nothing like sticky balls in this tropics, is there? And,
sweaty balls.
But Jesus Christ, yeah, sweaty balls. Yeah, a lot of. The only problem with Australia I don't like is all the fungus up there, up the top states. They get a lot of fungus on their balls, and they spread a lot of it. They should actually. That's why they piss on themselves a lot. Fuck the fucking tropics. I like you and you guys Mac and Robert. Just not real cold, but you can get away from the heat and you can get away from the cold in summer. Versatile. I don't like the constant heat. It's too much.
Well, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with we've got 4 seasons, and that's definitely pronounced. But I remember that when I first met up with a wife over in Thailand, you'd say, "Oh, well, what's it like in your country?" And I said, "Well, during summer it's like living in an oven, and winter time, part of it is like living in a freezer, and the other part's like living in a refrigerator." And she said, "Well, you don't seem to mind that it's kind of hot."
Yeah.
And they'd be all carrying on, "Oh, it's fucking hot, it's hot." And I'd be going, "Oh, this is not bad. I'll sit under a tree."
The whole of north of Thailand, it's just too hot for me, mate. I couldn't.
I've been up there. It's not that bad, but look, I was longest I've ever stayed there is 4 months, and that's why I like my equal time thing. Go over there when it's cold here.
Yeah, the winters are bad. I guess the winters are bad, and where these two guys, these American guys, are going to live. But it's okay. It's okay. Fucking get used to it. I don't like the snow. I can't handle the snow. I mean, I did that in Russia. It's fucking right. I don't like that. But in Tasmania and Victoria, we get down to about 0, which is we don't really get snow up in the mountains. We do, of course, but we don't get a lot of snow around. I don't think it's ever snowed here in
Rabbit, no, the north isn't always overcast. It's some beautiful bloody skies.
Usually under fucking water.
But the north,
fucking
the north
floods, Jesus Christ.
Well, they haven't had floods since China fucking dammed the bloody Mekong and all the fucking rivers going into it.
Oh, you're talking about Thailand, talking about Australia, Mekong. Yeah, I know. China's only looking after their own interests, John. Fuck everybody else.
If they don't look after their own interests, somebody else will come along and fuck them over.
Well, these people go to downtown Chicago, go to the state, the Illinois building, and they go and look at people's taxes that are being neglected, like they're not paying their taxes. These people will start paying their taxes for them. So when they lose their house, these people get their house for like maybe $10,000, $15,000.
Nice.
Yep, bastards. When people are down on their luck, there's somebody there trying to get their money in their house. So if you don't pay your taxes, you're gonna have somebody paying up your taxes for you.
Cruel fucking world sometimes, isn't it? You struggle all your life when you have kids to get yourself a house and stuff, and have some moron take it away from you. Great Australian dream to own your own home. American dream was.
See, I fell in a situation like that where I wasn't paying my taxes. I was in my garage, and my daughter and her husband were out front and said, "Hey, this guy wants to talk to you." So this guy, I went and talked to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I used to live in this house when I was younger." And I knew all the people who lived in my house prior. And I knew this guy did not live in my house. So I was like, what the hell's going on? And I knew somebody was buying up my house for the taxes. And I was like, it must be this guy. So he's asking me about the house and everything, the condition. And it's like, yeah, well, the house is unhabitable, really. I got a cracked foundation. This room's all torn up. They got holes in the floor in the bathroom and all this shit. So this house really needs to be condemned.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, what was the guy doing? They're going to buy up your taxes.
He was taking pictures of the house too. So it's like, I used to live here. My ass.
So he did that involve you in that house? Were they trying to buy your house up because of tax problems?
Yes, because I had an injury with my back, and I had back surgery and everything, and money was tight. Couldn't pay my taxes. But eventually, my dad helped me out, and I paid my dad back.
What a fucking rot!
Yeah,
Happens every day, Stephen.
That's terrible.
all
guys.
about money. And there's a lot of
Happens
people folding
every
out
day.
their houses now, and there's a lot of guys up there buying people's taxes up.
Oh well.
Talk about hitting you when you're down.
Yeah, that's the way. Just make sure you pay your tax. They should give every kid that's born in America a tax file number when they come out. Tattoo it on them. Jesus Christ. You're a real savage with your taxes over there. We're not so savage.
Is there
over
another
here. We
name
are
for
savage.
mortgage? Is there another name for mortgage? A death sentence or something?
Oh, yeah.
Mortgage?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a young person trying to buy a house right now.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's
I agree
terrible.
with you.
It's terrible over here.
I'm running into
But
it.
what- It's,
People buy
it's always been hard, guys. It's always been hard to buy a house, but nowhere near as hard as it is now. I
shit on
pity
top
them.
of it. When these young people buy their houses, right, they're strapped as it is, and then they buy these crappy ass appliances, and when they break, they break so much they need to just get another washer. I mean, you think the kids can afford all this shit?
Well, you got to have that fast
Very
car.
hard. It's very hard.
Yeah, it was
Unless you
hard.
got two good paying job people, like my daughter, she's a manager at Bank of America, and my son-in-law, he's a psychologist. He's a doctor, so he's making pretty good dollar there.
What about in Australia? What they usually give you 25 years to pay it back, and what's the interest rate, John? I've forgotten. Fucking ridiculous interest rates, right? Very high. They give you 25 years to pay it back. Do they do that in America?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's generally 30 years. Some of them are even 40 years now.
I'll have to ask John when he comes back. I don't know what the rates are. I think it was 14% or something like that. I might be wrong.
Yeah, and that's
But it's hard-
insane.
Fucking high.
It's hard for an old person to get a 30-year mortgage because they're not going to last 30 years.
Yeah. What they're doing now is if you're coming to old age and you're just about to snuff it, what they do now, there's these companies that they'll buy your house off them right now. They'll give you cash advance, and then when you die, they get your house. That's
Yep.
nice.
There's a lot of that
Well,
now
but
called reverse mortgage.
Oh, that's probably what it's called. Yeah.
They do that to the old people. Like the husband dies and the wife's got the house. She goes to a nursing home, and the nursing home has the deed to the house. And you think the nursing home is going to take care of this lady? No, they want her to
No
die as
fucking
soon as
way.
possible.
Yeah.
So they
yeah.
get the rest of that money for their house because their house is
We'll
paid
just,
for her
we'll just
estate.
stamp this number on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Oh, you know, a lot of old people in all of our countries are just rejected when they get older. You might as well, you're ready for the glue factory, mate. We'll fucking melt you
Well,
down
they
and make glue.
spend
out.
all these old people's
ridiculous.
money, these investors, their pensions and shit.
Do you honestly think they're giving you that money for that house, if you're old, that they're going to give you the right price? If it's worth 300,000, they're probably going to give you 50,000. Here's 50,000. You sign it over to us. I bet you
Here's
that
his
goes on
turn.
too.
Here's his turn up
Here it
here.
is. Here it is. Here it is. What are we going to have to give it a name?
Two
Hell's
light
Cutaway or
poles.
something.
They ran over
light-
this light pole and the one in front of me.
Hang on. Where's the Preng cars? Where's the Preng cars, mate?
What cars?
Train-
Well, this
Well,
light right
trash
here,
cars.
this one right here, they got knocked over and just replaced it. The one right in front of me, they ran right off the road and went straight and knocked that off.
Yeah, well, that normally
And
there's.
they went off this ditch here, and on this turn here, they went off the ditch over here. They knocked this new. There's a new light pole right here. This light pole right in front of you right now is new. And this big pit in the bushes, that's where they landed. I go, what the hell, man? Why did you do something to that road? Too many people are wiping out.
Well, what they do here is they put up guardrails so you can't run off the road. You just hit the guardrails and fuck up all the traffic flow instead of just pissing off into the scrub and everybody drives past.
Well, since I've been within the 6
Yeah,
months
right there.
you work in here, I'd see about maybe 3 cars in the morning in the fucking bushes.
Yeah. Or it flings you onto the other side of the road so you have a head on. Yeah.
People don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention.
Yeah. Yep.
Rabbit's
lovely
asking
countryside
Mac
there.
if you get forest fires over there.
No,
Yeah, what?
that's only out west.
What's that?
No, there really hasn't been any forest fires around here, no.
No, they do have forest ones up in the UP, don't they? Where they
What's
got-
that sausage dog? Reverse mortgage in Australia is 20% in Australia. What's that mean, Johnny?
20% interest. So in other words, the reverse mortgage, they value your house and you say your equity is this much or whatever, you can borrow whatever amount and they charge you 20% per annum
Oh, shit.
because you're not paying it back. You're just living off that money. So 20% compounded interest, you know, within 5 years or 10 years, they'll own the fucking joint, even if it's worth fucking $500,000.
Yep.
Do you know the first, if you get mortgages for 25 years, it's only the last 3 years you actually pay for the fucking house in Australia. The rest of it's just interest. Yeah, well.
That's the problem with a lot of people nowadays, though. They don't understand interest.
Yeah.
I've had some interesting relationships. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, it is, yeah. You had to pay that on a regular basis, didn't you?
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
What
Yeah,
was
that's
his
right.
name, Johnny?
Yeah.
yeah, inflated prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's I'll tell you though, that seems to be the nature of everything nowadays. They've got literally kind of a dog eat dog thing going on, and people just don't get it.
Hey, wouldn't it be good if we had remote control on Mac's van, and each one of us had a control of one of the parts of it? You know, one for steering, one for braking, one for acceleration.
Oh, shit, man. I'd have a crappy
And-
time
and a-
driving to
and a-
work.
And a camera on his face to go, oh, look at this.
You guys would be fucked with me, hitting my brakes and making me late for work. I just know it. And you guys
Nah,
be laughing
nah,
your
nah.
asses off.
You'd be smacking up somebody's ass and carrying on.
Yeah, make me rear end
No,
somebody. Well, that's what happened to that baker in Hollywood. His Tesla went over, 80, 90 miles an hour, and he couldn't shut it down. He crashed into a pole and killed him.
Well, that's probably good for Tesla, because if no one's alive, where's the claim?
Who
gonna
had
come
control of that car?
from? Yeah.
There's a lot of drive-by-wire cars that have done that, not just Teslas.
Yeah.
That technology's a long way away.
Hack into your Tesla and take over. Holy shit. It's been proven. You can do it.
I was always waiting
Yeah,
for
it
the.
can be done, Mac, but how and when? I
You know.
wouldn't sort of rely on it too much. But who knows what the future holds?
You know, the whole thing about it. We watched when we were young. We watched the Jetsons, and by now we're supposed to have little spaceships type of things that, you know, take me to here, take me to there.
That's just like the whole automation thing was. Robotics is going to lower the work week for people and make life easier for them. Yeah, right.
Everything's automated, even your toilet.
What do you mean?
Why do you do
It's
yours
all-
manually, Mac?
It talks to you. It warms the seat up
Oh,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah, I know, yeah,
Squirts you in the butt. You know, plays music.
Yeah.
You know,
He's right. It's real, Robert. That they,
Yeah,
I've got
Bobby,
one.
he's-
It doesn't play music.
smartwatches.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you gotta go take a dump now. Oh, how's my watch know
But Mac, you have to watch that automatic tampon remover. Don't push that button.
this? But yeah, your watch sees your heartbeat now and all this shit. My mom's got that watch.
Well, why would you want to watch to worry about your heartbeat? Because if it wasn't beating, you don't nothing to
And
worry
your
about.
steps. Tells you how many steps you
How'd you
did.
be, Johnny? Looking at your watch. Oh, yes, my heart has stopped.
Oh, but then again, it's
Uh-oh.
like we
Your
get the
alarm starts
weekly.
going off because your heartbeat's getting irregular and you're right in the middle of sex, you know? Oh, shit.
Yeah. What do you do, though, Mac? Do you stop or keep going? Soldier on with Mac. Yeah, soldier on.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But
my
this
sweetie, I
AI
have to bring out the
is-
tongue.
Yeah, but this AI that's coming to us, or it's already here, is
Yeah, I know.
really bad.
Been here for a lot of years, Mac.
Algorithms. Okay, we're gonna lose money here. Let's stop doing this because AI is, you know, it's like this ain't feasible. So let's liquidate this and move on. And these big guys that are bankers are pretty much listed off of AI, with investments
Well,
and
Yeah,
shit.
mate.
It's all about
The real,
money.
you know, but the thing is, you can look at something. All right, I've got a more than one interest, and I follow a couple of channels. But for the next fucking week, I get these ads, which are related to this and that and whatever. Well, I find that an invasion of privacy myself.
I've actually been doing some investigations into the YouTube advertising thing. And surprisingly, you wouldn't believe how many advertisements lead to nowhere. They're actually broken links.
Wow.
I'd say better than 20% of them.
Well, obviously, because it's still in the computer, and the reason it's a broken link is the others haven't paid their bill.
Yeah.
Just a numbers game, John. Just a numbers game.
All about money. If you're not
Well-
making money, it ain't worth keeping business going.
Well-
So we got to move to Mexico.
Well, that's the thing is, Jerry Maguire said it. Show me the money.
Yeah.
What do you want to move to Mexico for? You like
But it's
tequila?
okay
and-
for a foreigner to get their business here, and their business is not having any problems because they got all these subsidies and all this, handshaking deals. And yep, like my business would go under because I got so much taxes. You got the insurances and all this stuff that goes through the roof. So I can't afford to keep my business here. But yet these Muslims can have their business here, no problem.
I'll tell you what, that'd be yeah, but then again, Rabbit, you only get what you pay for. It's do you want quantity or quality? That's the things you got to ask yourself, Rabbit. Quality or quantity?
Where's Avery hiding, Mac?
What was that?
Where's your
Where's
adopted
Avery
son?
hiding? Your adopted son.
I can't hear you about the phone.
Oh, John.
Your adopted son. Where's he hiding?
I'm going there now to pick him up, or he's gonna pick me up.
No,
So I'm on my
Avery.
way.
We're talking. We mean Avery.
Okay. Avery, he's not doing so good. He's getting that flare up again. So I don't know if he's going to the hospital to get de-juiced. That's what I'm calling, because he's swelling up his legs and everything. He told me he was going to his mom, but then again, he said he's going to a friend's. house that lives above a bar. I don't know. I haven't heard for 3 days now.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, Rabbit,
Called him this
Rabbit,
morning. He didn't answer.
Rabbit, can you check the death notices in the London newspapers, please?
His name ain't Avery.
I know. Everybody knows his name anyway, so.
So I'm going to
Never
pass up
mind.
this carnival that was up here. It had the big old flash mob. I mean, it's a quiet little town, you know, a quiet little carnival with just family, mom and dads and the kids. And then you get this flash mob that comes here and over swamps the parking lot with cars and kids and people jumping on cars and fighting. There was about maybe 20 people arrested. And then you see it on the news.
What was your flash mob? 25 to 100 or?
There were like 200 kids just came over here at one time. Boom.
Well, that'd be about the population of where we've just been driving through, 200 kids.
Yep. This parking lot right over here to the left of you, it's vacant now. They're supposed to be closing up today and moving on, but they did that Sunday because they said, no, we don't need the carnival here because we hear rumors of flash mob going to hit again. So, yeah, they're stopping gatherings now. People, I'm sure this is not the only carnival. There's always carnivals left and right in every town. You see a carnival to raise money for their town? Yeah. So I'm seeing this going to be happening. This is going to be the trend through the summer with all these carnivals.
So they'll limit participants to a certain extent. So if it gets any more,
trying to cut down grouping of people. Because once they see a grouping of people with the G5 now, I'm noticing that, you know, they'll say, hey, you guys should all meet up with me. I'm a good, popular person on YouTube, and I'm going to be here. So if you want to check me out, boom. Next, you know, these kids get this damn message on their phone, and, oh, I want to check this out and be there. That's what happened to downtown. And next, you know, there was gunfire and shit. Chicago got mobbed about 500 people. All on their damn phones. So I like to know who the person is putting this damn text out, and it's going to everybody. Usually if I put a text out, it just goes to my friends. No, it goes to every kid, it seems like.
Well, the thing is that right, YouTube algorithm, you put up that you're going to do a stream or whatever.
Right.
It goes to your subscribers.
Right.
So
But
if
not
there's
everybody
enough
subscribes.
dumbasses in one area, or somebody gets onto somebody else. Oh, what are you doing today? Because I'm not doing. Oh, we're gonna go and have a look at this. So you know, dumber and dumbest turn up. Yeah.
Yeah. So all the malls around here, you can't go in the mall unless you're accompanied by an adult if you're under 18. So they're stopping the people from gathering at the malls because that's what I used to do. Hang out at the malls and pick up chicks and stuff and hang out at the arcade. There's no arcades around here.
That's what.
No more Chuck E. Cheese's. I mean, they're taking everything away.
Yeah, but the difference is, Mac, is when we were young, they weren't shooting pregnant women in the fucking parking lot to steal their fucking car.
Yeah.
Well, if they did that, that'd be a double homicide, wouldn't it?
I guess it depends on what kind of judge you get.
Well, that's always been a legal argument until the baby's born, and what time is, you know, that's been going on for fucking years. That one.
I'm just talking about the fact that young ones nowadays, when we was young, yeah, you went and hung out someplace and talked to people and met up with girls and all that stuff. Nowadays, they don't do that. They go see if they can shoot somebody to steal their fucking car, their purse, or their money or something.
Yeah, society has changed a lot, and not for the better part of it.
No.
And
I've
yes,
been watching
One-
this kid that's doing a TikTok thing over in the UK. These two of them, and they're literally walking into people's houses, going in, jumping in people's cars as they're going down the fucking street, walking into libraries, tearing books up, all kinds of shit, and posting all over TikTok.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it for months. And I'm trying to
Well-
figure out why they've not been fucking arrested.
well,
Right.
exactly right. But if it was my car or my house, I don't think they'd do it again.
Problem
So,
is in the UK, if someone walks into your house, you're not allowed to do anything to them.
Yep.
Well, they're trying to say that here, but the whole part about it is,
But
if
if
the
you're a
doorbell
politician and they do that, guess what? They can shoot your ass and they're not going to get in trouble.
yeah, well, it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Yep. The root of all evil.
What kind of law do you want? What you can afford to pay for? What kind of police do you want? What you
Somebody
pay
breaks
for?
in my house and I shoot him and he tries to get out of my house. No, I got to stop him because I don't want him dying outside. He's got to die in my house.
No, well, here you put a bullet in them or smack them in the fucking whatever and drag them out to what we call the nature strip, the grass verge.
Yeah,
And,
sticks.
yeah, and so I'd never seen that person before.
Yeah, I just wish it'd just go back the way it was, man. What the fuck?
Ain't never gonna happen.
They're causing all
That's
this
right,
heartache.
Paula.
And Robert don't think they're depopulating us. Huh.
They don't have to, Mac.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right?
No,
I mean, with the
I
crappy foods they got in all these restaurants, the fucking shitty ass healthcare.
yeah. That's called
You know.
greed, Mac. That's called
Yeah, I
greed.
know that. But if we don't do something about it now, there's going to be a tipping point where we can't come back from. So,
Mac, the food companies that are doing this shit, Mac, is responsible for what they sell to people. Take the fucking sugar out of it. Also,
well, it's not
you know,
sugar. It's not sugar. It's that corn
Oh,
syrup
well, yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, you got corn syrup, I think. It's all different.
It's
products,
GMO
you know
corn
that.
syrup.
Yeah.
But
most of
the
their
thing
corn
is,
Same with
fields
cigarettes.
must be-
They reckon cigarettes are so bad, Mac. Why are they still selling them? Why are they letting
You
companies
know
sell them in
exactly
your
what's
country?
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
you know, the one part about it is here
Fact.
the cigarettes are taxed very heavily.
Here too.
And their claim is because a smoker uses more of the medical facilities
Yep.
than somebody that doesn't. You go into a place and they say, "Oh, I'm not treating you because you smoke," and you say, "Go fuck yourself. I paid a lot
they
of
do
money
that,
for
John.
that, and I paid your wages.
What about
You've got the
fat
duty of
people? I
care."
mean, the obese fat people. Well, we're not going to pay insurance because you're overstuffing yourself and eating this shit. Same
Yeah, but
thing.
how-
You know,
The
there's a
thing
small
is-
example, John. What about the what do you call it, vaping? Vaping's no good.
Yes.
Keep it out of the country because it takes over from the cigarettes. But they'll let you smoke a cigarette, but they won't let you vape because you don't pay tax on that. It's
Well,
fucking nuts.
it's-
The whole thing's fucking
you know,
nuts.
but the thing is, most of the taxes were brought in after the Second World War, and they were temporary
Yeah.
to build countries back up. Yeah, well, how fucking temporary is it in 2020? Fucking, what is it, 3?
These big food companies, John, should be held responsible for what they put in their food and make them more healthy for people.
I agree.
Not gonna happen,
Actually,
is
I saw a bit of stuff on I watch it on YouTube. It's illegal in Australia, but I noticed the multinationals are doing it, which is illegal. They're pumping meat. They're saying, "Oh, It's to tenderize it like fucking hell. You put a needle into a steak and it grows in size. That's not tenderizing it.
Oh, what?
That's injecting water and shit into it.
Yep.
Yep, they've been doing that here for years.
Well, it's illegal in this country, but they've started doing it here, and no one's kind of jumped on it and said, well, hang on, that's fucking illegal. Well, I'm just a bloke. That's my next little pet project. When I get bored, somebody to piss off. That's why I haven't died yet.
Oh,
I've got too many more people to piss off.
What'd you say? What's your sugar over there? What do you call it before, Mac? What's it called?
Glucose,
No,
corn syrup.
What's it called? Corn syrup.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
glucose, dextrose.
Yep.
It's all, well, corn. What Mac's saying, the corn, what'd you say, corn syrup?
Yep. GMO corn syrup. And if you look at the farmer fields here, that's the investment. All of this corn is just made for that sugar.
I know
Well,
that over here, I don't think.
No, we don't do it here.
Yeah, there's countries that ban that shit.
I'll tell you what, Mac, if you had a barbecue over here and you put a bit of corn on there, it'd burn away to charcoal before anybody they ate it. Most people I know don't like fucking corn.
Oh, it's not a big thing in Australia, no.
All right, folks, I got to hit the road.
All right, mate. See you, Mac.
Take care. You have a good one, guys.
Good to have a Mac attack.
All right, you guys all take care. See you later, chat.
See you, mate.
All right, mate.
I might wander off into the distance too, Johnny.
Yeah, well, I might also. I'd like to thank everybody for dropping past the channel tonight. I'd like to thank Robert, Mac, and Stephen and Steve for joining the panel. Don't forget Wednesday night trivia night. And we'll we'll have a little bit of fun anyway. But with that, we'll catch up with you later.
All right, Johnny. Good talking to you guys.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.